觉是经过长时间队伍的沉淀磨合过后，大家在比赛中的站位和配合更协调了很多。
Imagine you could invite any PUBG player in the world to join you for dinner tonight. Who would you invite?
邀请周子轩，因为这游戏还没有电脑的时候，我知道这个游戏，我当时在直播平台我看周子轩。
GodL，因为我是跟他现在在团队中所处的位置都一样的。他算是前辈，大家有机会能学习学习。
Okay. Thank you both for joining us. We're looking forward to see what 17 Gaming brings to the PGS 9 and beyond. Best of luck. Thanks for taking your time, taking the interview. Let's see you in games. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Welcome, good seven Shrimsy. How do you feel like right now?
Good,
yeah. Excited.
What were you happiest with as a team after final stage?
I just like that we're not super impulsive. Like whenever we make sporadic plays, it kind of goes bad for us. But whenever we talk about things and do things together, then it goes pretty well for the most part.
The game has changed a lot recently, and we need to adapt.
Like what's something fans always assume, but Falcons doesn't completely wrong?
The biggest misconception that people have is because Tig is like the biggest streamer and he's like the face of Western PUBG, and he kind of has like this, I don't want to say like aura around him, but he's like, you know, people will come up to him and he has like this insane personality that they always think he has this insane ego and he's like kind of rude to the team and stuff like that, and that's just not true. He's a really good teammate.
So what's one area where this team still feels it can be better?
It's the balance between when you want to send it to the middle and play for the circle, and when you want to play for kills and play on the edge. That balance is like nearly impossible right now, because you used to have so much map knowledge from 8 years of playing the game. So having to adapt to that is nearly impossible, but we're trying our best.
I think a big team that we respect in general nowadays is Geek. So they've been playing TVP for a long time. They kind of all stopped playing FPP and just kind of was playing for the fun of the game, and they stream a bunch and stuff, and now they're one of the best teams in the world in our opinion, I think, as a team.
Imagine you could invite any PUBG player in the world to join a dinner tonight. Who would you invite?
I would invite Inonix. Me and him have been friends for a long time, and we did a jersey swap back in 2021 at PGIS.
I would choose my old teammate ITZY. He's an ex-FaZe player. He's just one of my best friends and I miss him.
We are looking forward to seeing what Falcons can bring to PGS 9 and beyond. Best luck and better thanks for you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much.
is the PUBG Global Series 9 here from Shanghai, China, as we get ready for a 15-game grand final to crown the champions. We have to first wait and see who gets through the final qualifier.
Okay, well, check. Oh. What the? The trees. Shin could find himself with some friends, but that's going to be about it. Soul! Nice shot on a Tycon.
Don't overstep here, T1. You've got him pinned. You've got him right up against the wall. Nice shot from Housecar. We'll get the knock on a Lou, and Lou, T1 have not made a final so far this circuit, but through one game, they are looking really nice to make it to their first.
Housecar tries, goes for the shots. No, T1 takes it. Great performance, great play, great read on the circle.
They do not have the circle. They're going to have to make a push towards Expendables.
Of course they got to create.
Groza. Ah, man.
Why
it's going to be Groza in the hands of Tanwu and Igo. And that's crazy for Team Liquid, to be honest. Like, that's going to be so difficult. Oh, great spray.
Wow.
Can you get another one onto him? Oh, my God, he does it again with the Groza. That's disgusting from Tanwu.
Everybody says the P90 is so strong, but Tanvu says Groza is great. Groza wins games.
Okay, Alpha, do you play this aggressive or do you give them the time? It looks like they're a bit nervous to try and make this cross. They would just want to lean into the range, use the dips that they've already got set. A ton of smoke down for 4 Angry Men, but only 2 players up and moving. Nade starting to come out, rolls close to Alpha. Not enough to get the knocks. Spaceman on top, gets vision, doesn't get a knock. He's instantly punished. 1 HP just trying to stay alive up there.
Spaceman, as you said, still on that high ground. Not even going to go for the heal, going to go for the knock on assignment team before Tycon takes him down, and now it's a 2v1, Duckmai and Tycon versus Hasameme. The spray comes through. Duckmai very, very low, but he doesn't get the knock on Hasameme. There it is.
That is going to be Alpha picking it up at the end. A great read on the circles, great defensive positioning.
Focus, and they've got emergency cover as well in the sky. Shots comes in, Example takes Sameme down as well. But now up to 13 kills for Twisted. What a game for them.
So they're going to charge forward using the ghost-rided car as cover. They move up to the blue zone, which kept them tucked in behind.
Example, of course, with 4 kills now, 17, could make it 18. And with a native, it's perfectly in the background here. It's gonna do lots of damage, and it's 18 kills for Twisted Minds. A 28-point game, Toffees.
Let's see if Team Liquid can put an exclamation point on this final game, but Cowboy's gonna get taken down by Bean.
G&G regroups. Bean finds great angles. Suddenly it's Luke. Team Liquid, we're holding down this position for so long, but G&G respond so fast after they manage to take down Full Sense. G&G had control for forever, and they managed to keep it until the end. G&G victory all the way.
Here is who takes the field of battle tomorrow. It is the grand final. This is what we've been waiting for 3 weeks to get to this spot. Now we have the Big 16, the Apex Predators ready to go. Thank you so much for spending your day with us. And until we see you tomorrow, play more PUBG.
We got next, we ready to flex, we're ready to rock, headed to the top. We got next, can't settle for less. I'ma need your best, so give it all you got. We got next.
Take me to the front line. Better get your head right. You ain't gonna take my friend away. Take me to the front line. Put me in the limelight. You ain't gonna take my shine away. Take my shine away.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching around the world. Welcome back. It is time for the PUBG Global Series 9 from Shanghai, China. This is the grand final. 3 days and 15 games with 16 teams to determine Who is the one winner that gets to raise the trophy, claim their share of $300,000 and 120 PGS points? It doesn't get bigger than this as the race for PGC continues to heat up. My name is TWIS. I'm joined by Matrim, Avenger, and Porosaurus to keep you abreast of what is happening in the games today, because it is going to be a good old-fashioned 3-day series, Poro.
It is going to be a mudslinging
brawl
out there on all of these maps, all 15 maps this time around. And, a
今
lot of
日も
PGC points up for grabs, a lot
天
of
の声
money up for grabs as well.
河原
And
ジョンマイ
we
ケ
got a
ル
new lobby this time around, some new faces that we haven't seen in a while.
なんで今日から
What do you mean new face we haven't seen in a while? We missed
3日
the
だよ。
Survivor stage and it's been about a week since they
やっと
came
3日が来たグランド
back.
ファイナル。
Give me a little more detail on that, Poro.
Oh,
マジでちょっと2日足りないと思ってたんだよね、ずっと。
Not Navi. Well, sorry, Navi. Looking at T1, looking at 4 a.m. So, you know, I don't know. It feels like one of those situations where those teams have been playing well enough to where they should do well. And now that they're in a 15-game set, I think teams should be scared of them.
Yeah, I think 4 a.m. in their pre-show interview was like, our strategy is to watch VODs. That's how we're going to win this thing. I found that fascinating. Well, Matt, do you think it's going to take a little more strategy than we watched VODs to take this? And which teams are you excited about watching?
I mean, yeah, we've got a very interesting meta going on. VODs will definitely help because we've been seeing some tricksy plays being very important for a lot of these teams to kind of find a couple of kill points early. But for me, whenever we move to a longer series, it's always going to be about watching VP with the way that they play. That always seems like it's going to be very favorable for them. The more games that we've got. And then, of course, on the other side of that, 17 has been kind of on a come up between last week and the games of the future.
I love that. Yeah, games of the future. What an interesting event. We're not going to get into that. But it was funny because some teams did really well there and others like VP just kind of left off, but then have turned it around, Martin, and just been non-stop here. While we saw VP in some tough spots, they seem to always come out when it matters most.
Yeah, for sure. You can't deny this back-to-back second place here. They're obviously warming up to win the whole thing here. Once we get into the business here, we're giving away so much prize pool and 120 points for the PGS points standing here would propel you into the top 8 or even cement you as one of the top teams to guarantee you a spot for PGC.
Take a look at some of these highlights as we go back to it. It says that guarantee for PGC is a very big deal. This is the EWC is over, and it's almost like the year is split into two halves, Poro, when you talk to these players. It's kind of like everybody plans for EWC and the progression to get there to not only like get big money, but make their brand super proud to kind of like stand up for what they were signed for. And then there's this meta shift or like mental shift afterwards where everything seems to be a focus on PGC. That was awesome. From that point, I didn't know BRDM could move like that, right?
No, yeah, I mean, and I think it helps psychologically too with these teams, right? To kind of break the year down into sections like that.
最初の1日でとんでもない爆発してるチームがいない限り
having EWC kind of set there as that halfway point really kind of lets you know where these teams are thinking they're at. Like, by the time you get to EWC, you kind of know who you are, right? And especially in 2026 when so many things have changed as far as the meta goes, you kind of have an idea of like, okay, well, what do we need to do in the second half of the year to make that ultimate goal of reaching PGC, right? So I don't know. There's some teams that I think are still kind of struggling to figure that out, and as a result it's going to be a struggle to try to make PGC. But this is one of your first big opportunities in the second half of the year to really kind of get yourself set up that way.
You know, it's funny because you're right. It feels like it's the last because it's so late in the year, but there's still another PGS cycle to go. It doesn't mean you're cooked if you don't make it here. It's just really nice to get a chance to go in first, right? And do it ahead of everybody else. Now, let's talk about yesterday to today. Yesterday, we played the Survivor Series. Arguably, it was the worst teams in the ability 24, right? I mean, Martin, theoretically, this is the teams that didn't make the cut.
Right.
That said, it still saw some really great play moments, some good consistency from teams like Twisted Minds. Should I, as a viewer, take away from their great play yesterday and be like, yeah, them and T1, they're back? Or is this something where it really was that much lower level of a lobby, and will this be a tougher day for everybody?
Purely statistically speaking, like 6 or almost, I would say almost 8 teams but at least 6 teams of the teams that's playing in the grand finals that didn't play yesterday are arguably the top teams of this year, right? So the lobby was easier, but you cannot deny how well TWIS was able to do, especially here from this game where they're able to conquer and defend a compound for very long. They're playing smarter and more aggressively in a way where it's actually really paying off for them. So I'm hoping to see they're able to kind of step it up, but I'm worried
試合
that
始まって
with
ほしいな。
6
なん
of
かあ
the
んの
best
か
teams
な
in the world in
セ
the
レモ
lobby
ニー。
that's back, it's gonna be way more difficult for them.
やっと決まったわけだ
It's
か
gonna
ら
be very, very
ね。
tough. Let's talk anyone's legend for a second matchup. This is a team that obviously has a mythical level roster. In guys like Delwyn and Himas, they did qualify in 5th, but it's just been so hot and cold. Should I be worried if I'm choosing a team to follow here in the finals?
Oh, I mean, if you're an Anyone's Legends fan, you know what you're signing up for right now, right? It's a little bit up and down. Regional dominance still maintains pretty decent strength, but it's been all the way back to what, PGS 2? Since we saw them having like a really good run. And well, no, that's not true. We also had it back in, what was it, 5, something like that, where they had a pretty decent go where they got second places. But it's more along the lines of the consistency. Sometimes they're there and they're hot and they're going to murder the world, and then other days it's just going to feel like they don't even exist in the lobby. It's fun. It's really fun if you're a fan because you're on the edge of your seat every single skirmish. But at the same time, if you're looking for a squad that's going to be consistently at the top, Anyone's Legend, for whatever reason, just isn't there. Their rotations coming into the mid game in that center meta is just consistently punished.
Head-to-head player here, we got Alo and Batulin. You saw Liquid and Twisted Minds side by side. Twisted Minds, as a reminder, won the survival stage with 54 points. Team Liquid got 6, but just barely, as they were at 32, and the cutoff was at 30. So Liquid gave us a bit of a stressor at the end of the day yesterday, which we seem to have come to expect as normal when it comes to Team Liquid in these events. That's a rough one. But they fought through and they made it. In fact, I think I saw a tweet from Purdy that was just like the sweat emoji. Like that was, close one. And Poro, it just seems like that's the standard operating procedure for Liquid at this point.
I mean, it's standard operating procedure for everybody in a 5-game set, isn't it? I mean, you're sweating all the way until the very end, and fortunately for them, they were able to kind of clutch it out on that final Erangel game, which was a wild circle. Military Island finished on the beach. They managed to get some good position early on, and they managed to kind of really get started early by getting the wipe on the Navi as they were just crossing across. So it was one of those situations where like they were forced to fight early. They weren't able to just go inside a compound and hide and try to survive until late game. Like they had to kind of play a little bit more in the open and a little bit more aggressive. So I think it worked out well for him there, but you know, there's still some question marks, but you know what, they've made every final now so far. So that's step in the right direction. We just got to see if they can actually finish a little bit higher in the leaderboard this time around.
Martin, your grin tells me you've got something about Liquid going on, that you've got some thoughts on this team.
No, he's just making AI pictures of me.
He's memeing.
Yeah,
That's what he's
all
doing
he's
right
doing.
now.
I'm smiling because I can't help to think that every time Purdy and I talk, it's like we're arguing back and forth, and you know, I have this constant debate and discussion with him saying, you know what, if you get a PRDM, it's a top 4 guaranteed. And it's always, I'm saying, if you play it right. And then I'm thinking, okay, if you drive it straight into a city where half the server is shooting at you, you're not guaranteed to the top 4. So, but I'm happy that they're here. I hope they're able to kind of turn it around a little bit. There's still a team that, if they're able to get this, like, top 3, top 4 situation, you're straight into a situation where you grab another spot for PGC, for Americas. And I know Purdy would love that, to grab another seat for his comrades.
You know, just because Chad's asking us to show class, we're just chuckling because I think all of us saw Poro's shirt at the same time. And so if you're a big fan of Princess Donut, you love a little Porosaurus. It's great.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
It gets better. It gets better as you slide backwards.
They're not ready for this. Nobody's ready for this.
Right, okay.
Nobody's ready. This is finals, baby.
This is final. You know what? Let's refocus. When you're talking about alpha males, you're talking about alpha males who've been playing like kittens. Let's talk about Gen G a little bit, okay? This is a team. We have expectations from them for a very long time. Matchup. You got Soul is a king among men, among players, and yet Gen G feels like they're just eking by every single time. And where's the boys? B and D, like these guys are good. They should be having bigger numbers, I think.
Oh, you're hitting me with anyone's legend, so that way I have to stab him, and now I have to stab Gen G, my heart of hearts.
Sorry, it was just your turn. I wasn't on purpose.
Okay, but yes, you are right. Gen G is a squad that, like, look, it's a historic squad. We all know this, but on the other side of it, it's also got a lot of more modern historic names. Salute Soul on there, D, new come-up player from the Americas, moving over to play with them. And then, of course, Beam, just a very consistent player all around. This is a team that's opted into, whenever we see a lot more teams running together, trying to stay four in the, like, I guess, early mid-game, they are kind of holding the early game until the mid-game with very wide splits, territory control, because they think that they can hold down that territory with the firepower that the squad brings. And yeah, they can sometimes. It's just whenever four people roll up on you, you're going to lose a player here or there. And it just feels like they're hoodie. It's just half there.
I like that. And it's got cute ears. You can get the hoodies right now. You can get all these jackets in game. You can go over and get your team edition skins. This is the first drop. It's a great way to support your teams, both in game and out. Nothing says I love these guys like cracking some heads wearing their gear. So go get it in game. I highly recommend. Let's talk about the road to PGC. The race heats up, and Virtus Pro looks good. Avenger.
Yeah, they do back-to-back second places here, puts them amongst 217 points is massive. We're giving 120 points away. And in fact, we are, after this weekend's finish here, we're adding another 33% of the total points that's been giving out so far. So it's a massive amount of points that's going to be given out here at the
PGS9.
I'm really excited to see if we're going to see any of the teams that's currently not in the top 8 that's going to be able to grab maybe a top spot or a higher spot here. One of the teams that's been struggling a little bit is obviously Gen G. We're hoping to see some big things for them after we saw from yesterday. But I also got to say this, and I got to ask guys, what we see from the 16 teams here, we love fantasy, all of us here. Can we maybe each of us pick a team that we think is going to finish in the top 4 and a team that's going to finish in the bottom 4? What do you think?
Oh, I could do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Poro.
I'll tell you what, my sleeper pick, and it's not really even a sleeper pick, really, if you've been paying attention, but it's got to be Geeke. Like Geeke has been playing absolutely insane this whole circuit, and they haven't been able to kind of make their way. Like they start off every finals at the top, and then they just kind of slowly start sliding down to where they kind of finish a little bit lower towards the end. But I feel like they're there, man. I feel like I'm sorry, I said good. I meant supers. Goodness gracious.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's a bit different.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense.
No, supers. Looking at how supers have been playing, like all things that I said previously apply to supers. I think that they are absolutely kind of primed for
the
only thing that stopped them is that
it's
been one of these teams that just comes out and just has an unreal couple of days or one day, like a Myth or Petrichor Road or Virtus Pro, and kind of leaves them behind, and they haven't been able to find that one big game towards the end of the tournament where they can kind of secure that lead. So I've got eyes on supers. As far as towards the bottom, oh man, that one's a little bit tougher. That one's a little bit tougher.
You're just gonna jump away. You're just gonna dodge. You're just like,
oh man, I might. Go to someone else. I'll come back.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I don't cast the first game. 17 top 4, liquid bottom 4. All right, back to you, Poro.
Zero chill.
エグザンプルは昨日のでだいぶ上げたんじゃない？
There's nobody that I look at that I'm like confident that they're going to finish in the bottom 4. Like any team, I can make an argument for how they're going to finish up in the top.
That's fair. I won't make you answer. I'll let you hedge. I'll let you hedge.
Right.
Okay. Ooh, bold. All right.
I'll jump in real quick.
Who would I say that you wouldn't say bold? Like literally no team in this lobby
平均9ポイントから12ポイントで優勝。
What do you
VP at the
got,
top and Alpha at the bottom.
Okay.
Okay. It's bold. That's got some energy to it. I'll take it. Martin, what do you got?
Yeah, now that you pick VP, obviously someone has to pick them. 17 is gonna be the absolute dominators.
まあ150いったら優勝みたいなもんか、一旦スタッツだけで言うとね。
You know I picked 17, right? You know, I mean, I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I might pick. All right, you ready for this? Gam the Expendables.
Oh, that was going to be my follow-up, and I hate to say it, but I agree.
That's a bold choice.
Is it bold though?
They're all bold. I told you.
They're all bald.
The bottom four can go a little bit.
No, that's me.
You are 100% right.
No, that's me. I'm just picking Liquid because they have dominated group stages in the bottom four every single time. So I hope this changes. Let's go to the stage and check in with
PUBG Global Series 9 Circuit 3 Grand Final. After 15 days non-stop action, it all comes down to this. Yesterday, JNG Esports completed a huge comeback, and GAM, the Expandables, barely made it through. The 8 most dominant teams from Circuit 3 are waiting on the stage, but it doesn't matter whether you came from winner stage or survival stage. Everyone starts on equal ground. You win PGS 9 and you can all but guarantee a place at PGC. So who gets to celebrate first? Let's find out. And to all our players, this is your moment. And always remember to keep your faith to be the one.
We got next. We ready to flex. We are ready to rock. Give it all you got. We got. Y'all rockin' to the top. Can't stop it. Must be off your rocker, then you don't stop us. We got next.
Stage open is done. The game is about to begin. This is PGS 9 from Shanghai, China. The pre-show is over and the players are in their chairs. 15 games to make a statement that you deserve the lion's share of the prize pool, as well as one of the biggest PGS points.
昨日みたいな昨日の最終演、一番最後の試合の最終演にならないような試合がいいな。だいぶかわいそうだったからな。もうドンカツすれば上がれるっていう状態だったのに、状況だったのに。
So far, what we've been seeing, I would be so surprised if it wouldn't be a team like Virtus.pro 17, MiTH, or Supers that would be grabbing that trophy. Sure, I would love to see Twisted Minds, you know, a comeback era resurgence, but I think it's unlikely. Also, would love to see something like Falcons really come in and show that they're a dominant force from also what we saw from them last week. They got third, they were close to second, like they're consistent overall. They could have done it with a little bit more circles going their way.
Poro, have you figured out your bottom team yet?
I sure haven't. I sure haven't. I think another team that you gotta be considering for the top spot at Arena, man. Like they've been kind of looking really good, and it's kind of like under the radar almost every time too. Like they're right up there with Virtus.pro in terms of teams that are in the top 5. Most of the time they're playing games, so like they're just really good at positioning themselves to make a run on the final day.
It's funny because you say they're under the radar, but it's only because they've never really had to play the survival groups and they're always passing through, right? Because they got first place at our PGS 7, they got 5th place at PGS 8. They'd love to make a statement that they deserve to win here at PGS 9, but the bad news for them is there's 15 other teams saying, no, I will be the one. But we're going to send it over to game number 1 on the grassy pastures with your casters, the two that are going to take us into a 15-game final. It's Matchroom and Avenger.
Thank you so much, Toffees, as we get a plane path that's going to be starting up kind of around the Lipovka area, kind of in between Kameshki, ends up just around that hospital, South Georgia pole positioning. So at least we should be dodging a military base circle off the get-go, but I don't know. I feel somehow we're still going to get a lot of water.
Absolutely, I completely agree, Matt. I think it's very likely we're going to see some of these absolute insane circles where we end up bouncing back and forth, the ping pong north and south of those rivers. Or you may, you know, the Stalber ending would be fun too. We've seen some Yasnaya Stalber-ish endings, but We'll see. We
さ
could
あ
also be going over towards Everest. There's a lot there.
安田
Look at Twisted.
左も多いよね
Here
ほん
contesting
と
maybe for some of the cars to steal away from Liquid.
おっと
But so overall here,
Seriously,
pretty
Jeff?
damn easy plane path for most of the
Good
teams
to
to get into
confirm.
the usual spots.
これは楽しい車だね
just
車だね
around the edge of Death Road, where anyone's legend is going to be making landfall. Just a little bit ahead. This is just going to be for cars. I don't think that we're going to see much of a concerted effort coming out from Genji on the other side of this. At least I believe.
いややっぱそうだよね
Thompson, you said you
多いよね
want
これ
There you go. You get some of the river, some of the lake.
いやー
Yasnaya and Stolver
マジ
all together.
Yeah, lovely stuff here.
いや
And
多いよ
Sememe is
な
completely confused. What's he gonna do now?
ザラ
He's
キの
got the
ひ
dead
右
center,
とかあ
no
んまない
lead
んだよ
compound
な
locked in. And we have MiTH to the east here. And we know what MiTH can do when they have these home turf circles here. Him as and
おー
Solzi
人
pulling
数
straight
差
up
で
onto D here.
いや偉いこ
They
れ
want the farm split to themselves, and he's running straight for him.
Just
He's got a
an A?
pistol. He's got to run away. Him has got a. Oh my God, easy piece on UMP here.
Yeah. Not too much else you could do on that one. I'm asking to find it. Just good chase down. Soul's already going to be playing over here as well, but Genji on the start, finding a skirmish. This is good momentum coming up from anyone's legend, but Genji, this is going to be damage control. We're along the edge of the zone. Anyone's legend squad that can take early game fights and not care at all. On the other side of this, Genji, how much does the moral victory matter to you here? Do you need to defend your territory? Do you need to deal with anyone's legend, at least get one of them out? I mean, Salute and Soul, they seem very committed into it.
Definitely crawling towards it. There's also what was posted in the Drops Discord. I just didn't think that they were fully commit for Hot Drop here, especially in a 15-game finals. It's not really worth it, but someone's sneaking up here, and NMSS is not backing down from this position. And not driving away with the coupe as well. He's got the info. No helmet, though. A little bit rough. He gets peeked out, and maybe another situation. But being here, look at that.
これは
VSS, no EMAC.
おっ
Easy
と
oh my God, a lot of damage done. Only half HP on Destroy, though.
The Uzi still gotta reload it. So
おーいややらかしたね
Salute goes down as well. This is Genji in absolute shambles right now. Just sold the last one up, and Solzi, I think, might have an idea on where he is. Hasn't got the peak just yet.
Oh
Nothing.
my.
In retaliation, Genji demolished. That is bad news.
That is easy 4 points for anyone's legends without
マ
losing
ジ
anyone here, Matt. A little bit unfortunate. And again, I mean, farm is
いや
pretty
なん
shareable.
なんでウージー
Sure,
リロー
you
ド
can-
してなかったん
you
だ
can push
マ
over
ジ
towards
か
the kind of fair PS side where
珍しい負けたら
holding
ね
up right
まあ
now,
てか
but still,
絵に
not really worth for a drop here. A little bit of help. The car looked like to be
Nice.
stuck, and now they're gonna have these two coupes to get into this.
マジか
As you said, yes,
結
Naya, Stalpa, and the
構
River active in this one.
I mean, you mentioned
イージーな
the back
4
farm
ポイン
is
トもらっ
shareable,
た
but, I
ね
mean,
これ
it's
Anyone's
Genji and
Legend
Anyone's Legend. These are two squads that roll with a little bit of ego. So I guess this is just kind of how it's going to start, and see how Erangel plays out from here. Does Genji go for a more retreated position, maybe a bit more over into the east or something
まあ
else
主
like
導権
that?
を渡してたから
Go
ね
for
ジェン
farm
ジ
proper?
車
Well,
渡
it's
してる
already
時点
starting to
で
come out here as it's going to be a lot of our squads going for the Stolber hillsides, but mostly
4
down
ポイ
in
ン
the
ト
south.
プ
We
ラ
got
ス
Misa
そんな
Stolber
に
proper,
遅れてはない
T130 and Yasnaya. Then we've kind of got the like no lean situation that you mentioned with Four Angry Men.
北か南かわからない状態です
Super's inside track position a very early Petrichor Road and Geek all just trying to make sure like they're going for
うわスタートラッシュでこれマジでメンタルにくるなジェンジ
Didn't know for anyone's legends for Gen G that American sitcoms are so
Wow.
popular. Joey doesn't share loot. That's for sure here for Gen G and anyone's legends, and they got denied immediately. Look at that, screaming at them. A little bit of grin from the guys. We had some grin starting this day, but it continues throughout here. Mostly the talent started with it. I wonder why, Matt. I saw one of you as well.
No idea. No idea. the meme master over here. Looking around on this, though, what concerns me, if I was playing in this lobby, is it is anyone's legend getting 4 kills right off the start, a team that loves to kind of roll off momentum. So now they're going to be able to loot up. And it feels like whenever anyone's legend finds kills early, boy, they go for it. Petrichor Road, and their defense already finds out Zhao Wu, and he goes down. Looks like 0-4 also going to be trying to get back over on a point.
Yeah, Ming Ming holding the anchor position. The high ground information's coming off, but the volcano. Shui's getting ready, making some space to get out of this one here to get an easy flush here. Now Liquid rolling up onto APG here. Dogma has already dug himself down in a hole. That's a great peek for him for the barrel takedown. Blue well down as well.
早いねファイ
That's
ト。
two big knocks on the roll up. Very well read coming up from Alpha. Okay, Cowboy tries to fight it back, does manage to get down at least Simon T, but it is full damage control. Team Liquid in a lot of trouble. Alo gets another knock, so starting to spin this back around. Tycon does manage to get a good follow-up onto both the two remaining players for Liquid. Liquid out early, and this is some early game aggression. I love it, Avenger.
Yeah, that's a fantastic play here for Dogma. For him to set up that in a kind of rich spot there where the information is able to get there. Great play from them. And also to get Simon T
2チーム
back
か
is
け
quite an
の
easy task. Sure,
1チー
Gamma
ム
Expendables are rolling into the
1
western
か
side
け
and
こ
looking
れアル
to
ファ
see
だっ
if
て起
there's
こせるんじゃ
some
ないの
easy points to
割
be
と
had
楽
here. They
に
have a recall both northeast and west of them, so they could definitely be getting him back in here. Depends on what the circle does. If it does jump to them, they should be locking down, but they could also be going fast for a recall. So let's see what happens with that one once we get back to it. Now with Falcons here, Matt, and especially for them, a third place, they were grasping that second place, and if they had played that last game right and had gotten a few more kills in the win, they could have even taken the win away from 17. But a top 3 is good, and a third place is, are we back to Falcons third every tournament? I would love that.
You know, it used to be quote-unquote a curse that you were third place until you kind of realized that Falcons might have enjoyed getting that third place, the prizes, the PGC points that you get out on a more regular basis. So not necessarily worst, but what could be the worst is Twisted Minds rolling through a neighborhood. Never mind, Perfectix just gets a drop on Pal, and that is instantaneously now Twisted Minds. What is going on? It's only been like 7 minutes, and we've got 2 squads entirely wiped and another one halfway there.
マジか起こしに行こうとしたらこれ
With people
チップが
dying
2
this
個あ
early,
る
we're down to 53. There might be like, okay, there might be going teams to.
おいおいもう初手からこんな少ないんけチーム
Having teams that or die early, getting to recall
あ
stations.
それ
that are kind of on the
これアップデで変わったんですけど
outskirts of the zone where they have an easy
そうブルー
entry
チ
to the
ップ
kind of
を
further side. It's actually
2
kind of
個
smart. So one of that's
4個
like complete
送る
intention
と
here.
物資がもらえるみたいな
The
だったん
masterminds
だ
of
け
this
ど
team
ア
has
ップデで
definitely
2個にな
gone
りま
that
した
far, but
な
now
んで
Falcons getting
2個ちょうどあ
close
っ
to
たから
BP here.
物資にな
They
りま
might
した
sense some
お
stuff going on in
い
the
真
distance.
ん中海で
Yeah,
海っていうか湖で
Yeah, they're right on top of the river and the lake, so no lean 4 angry men gets both sides of it. Looks like Gam the Expendable is going to be chasing after Human. Falcons does not want to push that hillside that VP's on, so that's going to put them a little bit later in their rotate, but they've got a couple of pathing
で
options
も
that they
2
can
チ
deal
ーム
with.
かけ
Couple
の
compounds that should be fine in front of them.
1 チーム半分だからね
Tailing back behind this.
入りやすいと思うよ
Arena sent Lyrics up onto an emergency
これ
pickup.
回っても回ってももうほぼ意味ないんじゃないかなと思うんだよ
Behind this one. So this is kind of the duck my situation.
穴メタが強いってだけ
So it's just such a clean spot, man. You can't see it on approach.
Yeah. That was such a great play. A little off angle spot there. Gets a few and gets them 4 easy points there. A little bit of a snap there for the boys. And sure, the circle's not good for them, but that's still annoying. That could have been good points. Now, Volcano has been grabbed here by Falcons. They're now poking at the teams, especially VP, Anyone's Legends, and 17 that's close here. It's a good spot to get information from, but you're not winning the game from here. And a lot of teams are converging onto their location.
Some pretty brutal teams too. Falcons now potentially going to be gate kept out one side from 17 VP. Anyone's Legend down to their south. That is that's a dangerous combo to be around, and luckily it is only phase 2, so maybe more breathing room. Arena using their scouting looks like they should be able to reconvene just fine. Nurin's going to be tail end. Twisted does have to come in from the north, and they know that there's going to be a weakened not Anyone's Legend, sorry, Alpha Gaming just to their west, so might be something. Yao also getting recalled as he's just going to try to get his loot back in order before he regroups with his friends.
Absolutely. And especially for this one here, man, I'm thinking in a situation where the guys have said, oh my god, shots here from Destroy, finds good stuff. They're drive scouting it, and Destroy actually took the small Alamo here. And now drive-bys comes in for Falcons here. They gotta enjoy it. More shots comes in. Destroy finds
いやー今キックスタート持つ武器間違えたね
You
まあ取れたけ
gotta
ど
get this knockdown. You have to just do full damage control. Falcons finding a terrible start. Anyone's Legend still roaming around the other side of it. Trimsy, though, needs to get more out of this one. It's going to be followed up. Tiggleton now goes down. Trimsy the last one up, and Anyone's Legend are circling like buzzards.
これ DMR 持ってたキックスタート
free
ちょ
real
っとや
estate
る
to
か
be
したか
had
な
here, and then someone pulls in with the BRDM and a drive-by, and it's a momentum-based Anyone Legends that are just hungry for more. 7 kills already, as we were talking about, Matcham. These guys are about to absolutely blast the rest of the lobby.
Smoke's down, Trimsy. It's just time to go. Where can you even go? It's going to be 17 along this path. And I mean, there is a compound that's going to be over here right along the coastal wall that maybe they can go for a not coastal wall, I guess the river wall, whatever you want to say. It's just going to be get out. I don't know if he had any.
まあ起こせるかもしんない。
one of the blue chips in the time that he was there, and it's fine. It's fine. Circle pops. We go Yasnaya and Lake.
いやこれブルーチップ拾われてなければだけど壊しそう。Anyone's Legend
They will leave the chips and try to get
さっ
into
き
some
づいてる
space.
から
We
ね
might have a recall play here for Shrimpsy. I'm wondering how that's going to play now. Back to VP here. Get some shots onto Petka Road. Finds Chewy. And Petka Road now has to figure out, are we going to pull up? Are we going to try to drive by? Take some space here away. But VP has already set up shop here in the dead center. Yes, Naya in play here. I-26 falls. Ming Ming joins in as well for getting knocked. And it's everyone in this circle taking shots at Petka Road.
I mean, you got to give it to VP. This is a great position to already have
do-
on
do
lock
nothing
for the
there.
way that the circle is now popped. Petrichor Road, full damage control. They're just leaned up, hoping that E-Arena will kind of defend them. Supers get some vision on what's going on in that VP positioning, as well as T1 and DK. Long wraps coming over from Alpha to the west. It looks like also Twisted Mind thinking a similar thing. They could be coming in from the hillside that's just to the west of where E-Arena and Supers are going to be
そうだよ
playing for.
CMG 最初に来るのは Anyone's Legend だよ使いたいのは Anyone's Legend だからね
Anyone's Legend has an idea on what Trimsy could be up to and where he is.
Oh, Anyone's Legend there trying to get this last point, and that is scary for Shrimpsy. More shots comes in. Delvin finds it. Matchroom, you called it.
いやマジか
And look at
ここで
that.
8ポイン
They
ト
obviously also need this rest here, so they're gonna go for it.
さすがにわかるでしょ Anyone's Legend の活気で取ってんだからここで起こすのっ
Once
て
we jump to phase 4, it's 3, so it's a good timing for them to get their man back. And they can now send it in with the BRDM. It's mostly going to be fields ending south of Yasnaya, unless we do have this crazy shift going towards the urban ending here, Matt. That'll be a cool ending to see as well.
Yeah, no America's teams touching phase number 3, so we look at VP's got control over a lot of the field. Yasnaya has kind of split across 3, maybe even 4 teams if you count Gambit Expendables in there as, hey, you know, late rotating sometimes has its benefits. Go ahead and get you some fun toys to play with. But now, what do you do if you're Alpha? If you try to cross that road, you're going to have to deal with Gam the Expendables playing a bit further back, as well as the Supers, keeping more a certified defense. One of the players for T1 just trying to keep an eye on what's going on with Myth over here. Myth just kind of quietly enjoying Yasnaya. I mean, they're just chilling for right now. They know that somebody could be going for a bit more of a push onto him later stages.
次のアンチが安野や夜かどうかだなミス
Not,
の
hopefully not. Full 3-gear kiss with the
でも
Fabulous is
東
crazy.
側抜けれるから今
Put some replays
あまりに
here
も
as
チーム
we
数
see
が
that
少ない
Myth has holding,
マッ
has
プ
been
上
holding
に
on for a while here in Yasnaya, and so has GK T1. 4M has the outskirts. And if we do see this circle go center here, Matt, it's going to be absolute mayhem. A lot of the teams have locked down really valuable real estate that has both the high grounds, the 3 stories,
さあど
and
っ
some
い
of
や
the
ス
bigger
ナヤ
areas. It's
だ
actually going to be an urban ending shift here, Matt. We're in for some
市
action.
街
Maybe if we see
市
some
か
very
市街
deep
戦
and late
か
game circles here, we're going to see a lot of shotguns, SMG, and maybe even Panzerfaust in this play. Look at VP sending it.
Yeah, it's Mad Max time. Getting your cars, send it into the cities. VP just rolling in fast. Super's on the other side, doing the same thing. That is splitting some of the targets between DK, but let's not forget about the other side. Great view into the Super's approach. 17 looks like they're going to try to go for a similar fashion. 04 also going to be trying to cross over here. Looks like T1 now starting to make a much more concerted focus down into the south. Irene is calling for an emergency pickup. They just want to leap over the fields. They don't want to deal with this front facing and everything that's going to be going over here. Petrichor Road does get eliminated. Lots of players starting to fall right along the wall in Yasnaya.
あらゲーミング入ってきた
Yeah, absolute insanity here. APG also sending in 4M, holding on to the northern side. That's smart. Most of the teams are trying to get into the apartment blocks that's just being locked in. PK is trying to defend and trying to get these points cleared onto DN Supers. Human knocked and flushed. Now EJ, he hears and knows that there's more players in the outfield and goes out as they're trying to send it in here. Now with a flashbang
Wow,
in, that's a
本当に
great
空いてる
flashbang.
場所探
EJ
すしか
trying
ない
for a
よな。
Molotov here. Really good zoning for him. Can he find Heaven? Finds one. EJ goes down. Shotgun still in hand here for Heaven. He's on fire. And now they're all going to come in. Park Pro gets Heaven. And DN Supers are out in 11th place. And Geeky is going to be able to rest quite easily.
17 has backfilled the position that VP was playing for around that Wizard Tower. Anyone's Legend going to be a little bit held back. So, Arena on their emergency pickup. They're just going to make way over into the north. Completely open over here. And that's fine. Great and good. Looks like maybe the Game the Expendables could be thinking the same thing. Twisted Minds on the outside of this looks like they've bumped into Anyone's Legend that were being held back by 17 Gaming. So, Twisted Minds, I think that they just kind of want to make the dash into Yasnaya, and Anyone's Legends just kind of thrown off their timings for it. They're trying to get distance away from them.
おもろいのが東側の
You have this EP here, there's an opportunity,
警
but
察
when there's
署
already
がまだ
15
空い
to
てるん
20
だよ
people
ね。
inside Yasnaya, it's going to be difficult to land anywhere that's
一番
high
安全だ
priority
けどね、
and
安田の
really
中では。
valuable high ground. Kiss finds a
い
kill
や
in the
無理
skies. 10 Wolf
無理じゃない
trying to get
無理
into
じ
the
ゃない
church, and they got found all of them. T1 completely destroys Gam the Expendables.
All right, T1, good defense. I mean, Church has a lot of strength that can find in the later stages, so not surprised that we see the commitment come for it. Anyone's Legend does get a self
T1 だけじゃないでしょ、
outside the
絶対言って
circle,
たら
but there should be some decent timing.
3チームぐらいに打たれたんだよ。
to defend. And this is just the first stage of the gauntlet for Anyone's Legend. While Anyone's Legend's been finding kills, and they've got themselves the BRDM. It is now them, the last team that's on approach over here, as 17 has rebuffed any type of approach on this angle, and now Anyone's Legend is just kind of sending it more up to the north, where Geek as well as Twisted Minds should be getting a sight line on this.
All right, let's see this next circle pop here, Matt. Where do we go?
Actually
going south here, 50% town and 50% fields. This is really valuable for 17. I'm sure VP is regretting their actions right now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they're in a decent enough spot, VP is. Anyone's Legend using the BRDM on approach. A couple of Panzerfausts were probably burned on the defensive wall in
VP はもともと南の六角、今 C 地が取ってるとこを取ってたけど、
they do have one, and it looks like they're wanting to knock on the door.
まあ仕方ない、ここになった分も
or at least that building, stepping back, seeing how much damage
ファ
they
イ
can get
ト
on
で
BRDM
キル
because they
稼
want
ぐ
that
しか
thing
ないよ
out of their neighborhood. It is a problem. It's just a noise problem more than anything else, right? Could you imagine sleeping next to a BRDM and how loud it is?
Yeah, I mean, especially that, considering they had to go to the gas station all the time to refill that. Just in standby mode, it's gonna be chugging up a lot of diesel. And now with GK disengaging a little, but they still have the southern apartment block on the 4 stack. But Anyone's Legend has that corner, and that's really valuable. On the other side here for Twisted Minds, so they are outside Yasnaya, now considering what is our point of entry into this circle here. Where is everyone else? Losing our dashes, so this is a little bit unfortunate as well. Arena trying to move it in, and 4M also moving in. A lot of teams trying to get into the southern side of Yasnaya. It's gonna die down a little bit here with 17 being the only team in the fields. I wonder if this is really gonna pay off for them. They've saved this one.
Example, he's not just a gunner, man. Look at this. He can do a little bit of everything. Driving skills, clutch skills.
He grew up on Need for Speed.
He did, man.
Grew up on Fast and the Furious.
Or at least on GTA. One of the two, because that's how I always end up getting cars in weird spots. GTA. All right, so here comes the rollout. Spaceman gets the shots onto the twins. Twisted looks like they were just kind of trying to bypass this, but 4 angry men playing so far to the north has forced this stop. A couple of nades going to be bouncing off the wall, but Twisted Minds should be fine for that right now. MiTH has moved it more down into the south around Yasnaya Road. So no secondary firefight's going to be happening, no third party. This is just its own isolated firefight for now.
Oh, perfect takes. Lou has the Panzer. 4M really set up shop for denial of Twisted Minds entry into the circle. Oh, great player for 4M. Gets tons of points. Now 4M can easily move into this circle here.
Yeah, and this circle is just Yasnaya with a smidgen of 17 down to the south. Everybody that's alive is right around the road pretty much. Whenever you look at Yasnaya, the one that goes east to west kind of ends up around the courthouse. E-Arena is going to be the courthouse side over into the east. Then as we move west, it's going to be T1, MiTH up a little bit to the north of that, VP, a GK, Anyone's a Legend. Far up into the north, we do have Baron that's over there for MiTH, kind of keeping an eye on 4 angry men. Carly's trying to, he hasn't been able to see them just yet. And I agree, man. Like you said, that VP kind of regrets leaving that Wizard Tower. Let's see how we're getting ready for the new circle in 3 seconds. Does it pull down there yet again, or does it even keep it the Wizard Tower in? It does.
Oh, it actually goes west. It keeps VP in, but the Wizard Tower is still in. A lot of the teams inside the city is going to have to make moves here. 4M have to make
でもも
moves.
う
Myth
キ
has
ル
to push
は
T1 has
望め
to
な
push
いよ。
E Arena has to push T1
で
and Myth has to push
多
VP
分
as
この
VP is
次の
kind
ア
of
ンチの
launched
時
into
に
this
シーチ
open
が外れた
space
時に
and the few
南側
compounds
で
they have
広が
and
ってみたい
we'll
な
see how they play.
と
So
ん
we
で
can
もない
actually
プレッシャー
listen
を受け
into
ると思う。
VP's comms as they are defending a push from potentially mid
まあ
in just
今
a
は
second.
北側東側のチーム。
I mean, our game is
Nice
not
roll, bro.
They're like on yellow already. Like there's no side of the building.
He's outside here. I can maybe knock him.
You think they know someone? I
I
can.
can maybe knock two guys. He's outside here. I can maybe knock him.
You think they know someone? I
I can maybe knock two guys in yellow if they run in. Get ready. Get ready to tell them.
I can hold it as well, Nix.
Yeah.
I can hold it.
He's left side of the green. Hold the door. Okay.
I'm holding as well. Can you see into my building as well? Like if they cross out. They're like north of my building now.
Yeah.
One or two guys in that building. They
And
might
T1 is
go
east
for,
as
yeah.
well. T1 is east as well. But there should be team on orange.
Two guys on green wall.
Yeah, there should be EP.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
On the corner on orange. In the corner, two guys on the wall on orange.
There's also yellow building guy.
Yeah, one is
Orange.
north.
Two guys. One more. In
Nice,
the
nice,
corner.
nice.
I'm looking behind the house. Both behind the house.
I need to make it to you now.
Big it.
We knocked them behind the house.
Nice.
That's Myth on the other side with the push that they're trying to get, and Myth needs to go fast. While VP knows pretty much the angle of approach that Myth is coming for, 4 angry men are back behind Myth, and they're making the charge. Jacob does spot out Spaceman. He goes down fast.
Okay, Jacob and Myth. Yeah, a little bit of a pinch maneuver here for these guys. But they're getting all four angry men here. Absolutely denied any point of entry. Well played by Myth, but a Famis in the hand of Kiss. And Jacob with an off angle. That's a scary situation now. They have to turn heads. They have to try to get in and push this VP position that they've been holding on to for quite a while. And now VP, can they get more kills? Raining finds Scabby for the flush. And T1 is also kind of converging onto this. Pathompong is down here, man.
Yeah. And this is what I was worried about. E Arena was just kind of backstabbing this position that T1 was going for.
Oh, マジ窓枠に乗った。
Great defense yet again. Heather, man. Like, T1, never count them out. 5 kills already, but it feels like we had to count them out so many times just because they couldn't find the way to qualify for this stage. So this is a team with something to prove, and they've got a lot of targets right next to them, and they are just absolutely dicing them up.
Nerds is really low. Heather's trying to get these 2 kills confirmed. Easy peek over. Gets the 2 flushes. Shots are coming in from 17. And this next circle, Matt, here, it might be absolute mayhem if we do go out of the city.
さあどうだ南か真ん中かこれギリ入ってる
It's kind of in between everything. It's a little bit of the Wizard Tower. I think like maybe a wall of it. And we keep some of the wall in Yasnaya. It's just mostly a no man's land. Winbow is going to be in it. You do have to feel like it favors 17 because everybody in Yasnaya is now going to be all on top of each other. And 17 just gets a corral all together.
ギリ入ってるな。
Defending and trying to get Nurens out here is going to delay them. They also have to push. Shots are coming in from the side. I can't find Heather. T1 under tons of pressure here as they have to move through the city.
に明け渡しちゃったからな、
Potentially even
西側
out
の
to
マ
the
ンショ
fields,
ン。
depending on what they decide to do here. It's going to be rough for them to pull anything. VP also has to make moves. GK does have a little bit of a building inside, and Edward's Legend has this corner of this apartment block, but 17, man, I am sure they're going to be winning it. It might not be with a lot of kills, but they have full control
いや、
of the
CT
field.
か本当に。
Now with the pushes here coming in from Myth, can they get some kills on VP?
CT 圧死すると思うんだけど、GK とエニオンズレジェンドの。
on the push though, so Shotty's going to be strong. How's the Panzerfaust lock
Yeah,
going to
they were
come out?
doing
Beanie starts to hear everything moving around next to him. E-Arena does get taken out, so that means that T1 has opened up the move a little bit more. We can
T1 もこれ付き合わないで東側回るつもりだね。
Looks like Beanie is starting to get more of an idea on what to work with back behind all this. Panzerfaust comes out, does connect onto correct C, and a counter comes.
Nice
it's going to be
grenade.
Songjong that gets knocked
Oh!
and Beanie runs right into Kiss. Great shots coming up from Kiss, but he's just walking right into the VP lines. Does he manage to find another one? He is going to go for the flush onto Beanie. VP just trying to counter move around a lot of this as it is just problematic for VP. They're on the tail end as T1 has gone all the way to the south, and they're eating a lot of the aggro from 17 as well as anyone's legend.
Extremely well played by GK. A third party onto VP and Myth as they're both fighting now. Nixie And Lukrux is gonna have to make moves here. Nixie under a lot of distress here. He's got a little bit of a corner to play in. Backbro finds a great nade onto him. GK still 4 alive. Still with an edge inside the circle here.
T1 が一応安根屋
circle shift to that western south side.
のガタガタに巻き込まれないようにしたっていうのはいいんだけど、
3人残りでしょ。It was against MiTH that was right next to him. Shots now starting to come out from anyone's legend onto GK. Poor old Lucarux is just trapped over here. He's going to go down. That gives us our top 4. To the south, we've got 17. To the southeast, it's going to be T1. Northwest, anyone's legend. Northeast, GK, new circle, pops. And
yeah, they were nice to right around T1.
A little bit of T1 and 17 favor.
好きだけどね、俺
GK and anyone's legend are about to have to scrap or maybe die at the hands of 17.
許されないね。
Anyone's legends with the amount of kills they had already. We were talking about it, Matt. A huge potential for a big momentum fight for it. 17 trying to just hold on to this next circle here, and it might be a little bit of a slower play, but the teams inside the city, they have to make moves. And MMS finds some damage onto Backbro. More utility being deployed here. The team's trying to get into this side here, especially the Harry Potter here. It's going to be difficult. 43 damage is not enough. A blue zone as well towards Backbro. This Harry Potter is not going to be denied by anyone else than him as.
Couple peeks. Look at the way he's playing this.
Wow, マジか。じゃあこれはもう CT だな。
He's gonna fall down, and anyone's legend. Wall to wall, these guys are fighting, and it is essentially an Alamo versus an Alamo with the way that these walls have set up the road, the line of demarcation between them. Delwyn is separated out. He's gone very far to the south to see if he can kind of find a corral angle onto GK, but he hasn't been able to find it. GK is playing too close to the Wizard Tower that's just on the outside of this one. Akan now starting to look a bit further down, so it's just Sololzy inside of Yasnaya trying to fight his way out against all the rest of GK right on top of him. 17 does find out Delwyn.
Oh, nice climbing.
Bigger and bigger problems. There you go. Destroys back over here. Now Sololzy and them going to be running right through the smokes side by side.
Really fended this up nicely. If it wasn't for the 2 blue zones, they would have been full 4 pushing into this field, taking control of that Harry Potter, but it's not inside. 17 has spread out to take so much control of all the fields, and now you gotta try to delay as much as you can with smokes being deployed. So Ozzy has a C4. I'm not sure he's going to have much use of that. Let's see how far they can push into this zone here as 17 is spread out on the entire western and southern side. T1 still in there with a single player too. And then anyone's legends with 2 here on this side.
All the smoke that's down in the north, man. This is just going to be eating frames as it's like Songjong's trying to prep up a nade, and it's just bounce from hay bale to hay bale. Slowly creep your way in. Tiantian's going to be the guy on 17 that has to defend this as Destroy is getting closer by the second. GK making move more over into the east, so some distance starting to come out from the Yas9 teams. Nade, though, comes up from Winbow, and Sololzy runs right into it. Didn't see it down below his feet. Songjong, though, going to go for the flush and does manage to find it. Most of the focus is going to be between what's happening right now with anyone's legend as well as GK. Type still looming on the outside of this, but everything is stacking up in 17's favor.
Oh, Khan taking so much damage. Destroys also putting pressure onto GK. Chan finds Destroy, and that's anyone's legends down.
意外とキル数伸びそうだな。
EJ now finds Wenbo, opens up here, 3v3, and a T1 that's in between and
おっと、これは負
between
けちゃいけない戦いだぞ、CT。
Shots coming out from Little Ghost way down into the south, but it's going to be a con. Other side of it trying to make a move around. Good shots come out from EJ, following up on the nade, forcing a reposition. So EJ playing this out. Songjong does go down. That's a bigger problem. GK climbing forward, 10 kills, but now starting to get close range and into the face of 17 Gaming, who's been watching for so long. Just a card from one side of it. 17 just has 1 player up. Akan's managed to find it, and Zhao Wu is that player. Can he clutch it up? Type and now down and out, so it is just a 1v2.
Can't deny it here now. Shabu drives, repositions here. Can he get the shot? He does get this shot.
Oh,
GK,
my
gosh. They've done it, gotten out of the city from the urban warfare to win the chicken dinner. Absolute insanity here in the first match of the grand finals.
あんなに時間あったのに場所取れてないのが良くなかったのか。いや GG マジか。
What a wild endgame. And we're going to go to Poro on this one because he was gassing up Geeke by way of soup earlier. So you must have seen something in these guys.
Yeah, must have. No, I mean, that's God, man, I love to try to make inferences off of game performance, right? But that is such a wild circle.
寄れば強いとは思ってたけど、あ、でも寄ってはいたか。それは間違ってないわ。寄ってはいたけど、いやー、ファイト力証明したね、だいぶ。
Yeah, we had Kiss with some big moments, Himas with some good moments. A lot of these guys, it feels like the awareness that this is the big show, that it's 15 games and you got to start strong, was definitely there.
ただ、
I'll tell you what, Martin, when
15試合中1試合目です。これだいぶカロリー高かったね。1試合目にしては。すごすぎる。
To give us a split on phase 2 and then went to the city and then back out. How hard is that to deal with? I mean, you're a coach for Denmark. You've seen strategizing sessions. How do you prepare for this much bouncing?
The problem is always the same as we talk about. We don't go into the city unless you know it ends there. But everyone is just so guaranteed that it's going to go here, it's going to end here, and the team that's going to come from the city is going to win it. But the triple field push here is so rare as well. But no matter what, like, a team from the city did win it. 17 got some points from it, and there wasn't more space for anyone than the team that had the Harry Potter there. Sure, VP could have held on to it, but someone was going to pull up. 17 was going to pull up. A Beard M was going to pull up. But overall, a game like this, when you have to get out of the city, it's about maximizing. And GK played that so well.
That's true. And I think that's a big point that you make, is this idea that you have to have the right win condition, the right placement, but you have to have it at the right time, right? Like, VP having it too early would have been a debacle. As we take a look at GK, they come out on top. Big game one. Big point total up there for EJ and Akan. I'm loving what I'm seeing from these guys. I just worry about their consistency to keep it marching forward, Matchroom.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're looking at GK, that's the thing to be concerned about, is they can have their big games. And whenever they have big games, it's really fun to watch. I mean, the other side of the coin is that it just sometimes feels like they get into a great position, but they can't capitalize, find those big kill totals that are coming out. I'm a bit worried for this lobby if the way that this continues to shake out, because it's very high kill counts, a lot of points over on the left. Like, this feels more like a game 2 scoreboard than a game 1 scoreboard, because God, look at that, 24, 13, 13, 11, and 9 already for these guys.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, there are 15, or I would say 10 teams right now, Poro, that are, I think Matt makes a good point, wiping sweat off their brow, going, thank goodness it's a 15-game series, because with the nature of that game, it was very difficult to make choices. Now, Kiss, you brought it up. Looks like some of these guys came to play today. 6 kills, not too bad.
He looked really good, and MiTH playing from the roadside too. I mean, able to hold off 4 a.m. to push across the road from them. E-Arena also with I think they were coming in from the north side, so really well played there by MiTH. Ended up taking the fight with Virtus Pro, a really weird fight with about 1 million smokes going between the buildings, but still managed to take out a couple of, or obviously at least 6 there for Kiss. Like, he was a monster in there in Yasnaya, and that's bad news. That's bad news for a lot of these teams. If these guys that basically operate off of momentum start getting it in game number 1, you're looking at a long day.
I think that's it too, is it could be a very long day for a lot of these guys, because again, we play 3, so you want to start out strong, have these big numbers. But I mean, even like Himas, we saw that headshot that he got when they were trying to break out towards the tower. He was making incredible plays by himself. It looks like some of these teams are out to frag right out of the gate. But let's talk about some early stuff. Genji versus Anyone's Legend hot drop Avenger. It was crazy, and Genji got nuked.
Yeah, they got absolutely destroyed. They got played down so fast. Like, and again, they just decided, okay, let's just hot drop. They actually got the high priority building on the high ground, and then Anyone's Legends were like, okay, we're just gonna pull up. There's a solo guy over here. They just send everything here. So Genji has just been sitting back for the last 25 minutes, enjoying the match. And what a match it was, and what a game it was for Anyone's Legends after looting that and also getting this much out of it. I didn't expect them to get that late into Yasnaya and getting that many kills from that defense there. And again, if it wasn't just for, you should just have held on to the GK thought there, Poe. You're like the smartest man ever. Like 200 IQ calls there. That would have been amazing.
Your subconscious knew.
The subconscious you is the smartest man ever. Well, teams may be calling because they're going to need some smarts of their own as Game 2 gets underway. I'm going to send Avenger and Matchroom to the digital green room to rest, relax, and get ready for another day of casting ahead of us. 5 games to play. But this is that point where you start the race. You want to get off the blocks strongly. The last game was a difficult one. So this is your chance to say, hopefully we can stabilize. Because I will say this, Poro, as that last game ends and you look at those leaderboards on the top 5, everyone else has to go, okay, we can't let them get that far ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
同じことは起こしたくないよね。
there's still 15 games, right? So you're
ワン
basically
チ
not
は
as
だいぶす
freaking
ごか
out
った
as
け
you
ど。
would if it was one of the 5-game days. But at the same time, like, you know that you can only do the this was a salvage game type situation. Like, you can only do that so many times, especially on Erangel when you're feeling like that's one of the maps that you're going to be most confident in. And yeah, it was a city game, but there was a lot of teams that went out very early, like very early, before it even turned into a city game. I mean, it was bloody early on. I mean, we were down 10 players before even C3 pop, I think. So I think a lot of teams maybe will be looking at that and saying, okay, well, maybe we calm down a little bit here, maybe pump the brakes just a little bit and slow things down now that we're on Miramar.
I'll also say, I think that with a salvage meta, which let's call spade a spade, it's essentially where we're living at this point, right? Like you can't, every team's going to have multiple quote-unquote salvage games, and the best teams are no longer looking at it that way. They're saying, even on a bad circle, it doesn't matter. I'm going to find 6 points in taking these fights and managing the crashes. And I do think that this end of the day world of like you get to have a salvage where you only get 2 because it was a crappy circle is kind of dead and dusted, especially when you talk about the top 16. Every game has to be a points per goal average. And if you look at it and you go, this is going to be a salvage because the circles are bad for me, you got to go hunting, or you got to figure out a way to find those points early if you know that they're not going to be available to you late, because the lobby's gotten too good. The lobby's gotten too tight. And more importantly, day 3 is no longer dependable, in my opinion. You look at some of those circles that we've been getting, like the final circle in the Survivor Series yesterday, like that's untenable to plan on performing well in those last 2 games.
No, absolutely. I think all these guys are thinking, like, we cannot allow ourselves to get so behind the 8 ball so early. We don't want to have to fight our way back at least that far, coming in even with 2 days left to play. So we'll see what happens here in game number 2. Some of these teams had a little bit of bad luck there in game number 1. Find their footing. Check in with Team Liquid, one of those teams that did have a little bit of bad luck there, running into Alpha Gaming. The destructible terrain really kind of put them at odds in that push onto the warehouse, where Alpha just really took them by surprise.
They took him by surprise, but I'm also going to say I just feel like it was too late in the game to think that that wasn't going to be contested as they made that change. Now we look back at the last match, and as we do so, we're going to check in for a quick interview with Songjang from GK.
Everyone, welcome to the interview. We have Songjang from GK Esports with us here. Oh, congratulations on winning a 14-kill chicken. How do you feel right now? 现在感觉怎么样?
지금 느낌이 어떠세요? 이긴 느낌이?
저희가 이제 첫날 첫 번째 판에 좀 못하는 경우가 많았었는데 오늘은 그래서 첫날 첫 번째 판 좀 천천히 잘 풀어보자고 해서 치킨까지 먹어가지고 너무 기분 좋은 것 같습니다.
我们在一般第一局的时候，有的时候会不利，但今天的计划就是我们稳一点，稳打稳扎的去赢，然后第一局我们就吃到了鸡，非常开心。
Sonia said we used like not get good result in the first game, but in this time we like make us like more composure, more calm, and we receive good results.
最初の試合はあんまり
really happy right now.
いい成績を出さないことが多い。絶対嘘やん。すごい。
Thought about the situation when they face in this final circle. 就是在他看来，在这个决赛他是怎么样去分析这个局势的？
이번 게임에서 어떻게 생각하고 있는지를 얘기해 주시나요?
이번 게임에 어떻게 생각하는지요?
네.
일단은 뭐 초중반에 잘 풀었고 후반에 이제 각자가 할 수 있었던 것들 잘 했고
結構大体最初らへんでドンカツ取ってリードを取ってるイメージあるけどね。
做好了各自的角色，所以吃到了鸡。
Sonia said we just played every role we have to do, and we made it and win a chicken dinner. Congratulations, Songjang, on the 24 points in the game. Congratulations. Let's see you in the next game. Bye bye.
illuminating. As we jump back over to watching the fight, Alo decides to take the fight to APG. We saw the scout from above earlier, where I believe it was Cowboy sort of calling out the positions, and Liquid decides they're going to take the fight to them. This is a very aggressive Liquid as they try to cross the road. Pal putting some real work on them. I kind of like this Liquid.
Oof.
No, I don't like that though.
Yeah, nobody would. These two can't seem to really avoid each other early game here now, can they? This is the same match that we saw last time around. Alpha dispatched with Team Liquid pretty unceremoniously, as we really were talking about it right before the interview, and Luke 12 does get flushed out. Alo has a good idea of where Tycon is, but the utility just not falling where they need it to. Tycon able to survive a little bit longer and kind of slow things down and wait for the rest of his team to get in position to kind of put the clamps on Liquid and Alo specifically here.
It's interesting. You're right. You bring up a really good point here. This is the second time Liquid has gone into a push on Alpha. I mean, in the day, if they've done their research, they know it was Alpha in this town. They had Cowboy up there scouting. It almost feels like they were planning on sort of trying to force some 4v4s in the early game and get a little bit of a point padding, which I kind of get by. If you believe you're a better team, if you believe you can win the fights, go do it. Meanwhile, D making some moves over here on 4 a.m.
早いね。なんか、なんだろう。なんでこんなに
left behind. Easiest kill of D's life.
序盤で捕まることが多いんだ。
All right, well, it looks like Pow and Alpha have got an idea where Purdy Curdy is, and yeah, that's the problem with this fight just taking as long as it has. Is they know exactly where Alo is, now they know where Kurt is, and they're going to hear Cowboy pulling up in that vehicle, so they have an absolute read on exactly where every single one of these Team Liquid guys is. And Team Liquid, for their part, they know where Tycon is, but I don't think they've got an idea where the rest of the gang is, as they'll try to smoke off Tycon, allow Alo to maybe move out of here. But this has kind of turned into a stalemate for the time being. And it feels like the emphasis, the onus is on Alpha to kind of make that push. There's Luca Rux with 1 HP, wins the 1v1 versus Destroy, but Sololzi, he's got a grenade ready to go, but Luca will pop the heal. He gets him, but he doesn't get him knocked. And now Luca Luca Rux gets 2 knocks.
マジか、ちょっと調子乗りすぎちゃんけ。ちょっとやりすぎちゃったんちゃうん。日本ズレジェンドさんや。
Beautiful work there from Luca Rux, and now the Team Liquid Alpha fight has popped off. Alo did use that smoke to reposition, and he caught Tycon by surprise. And he'll take that knock, but he's gonna get knocked in return by Pow, and now Pow's gonna get Cowboy as well. They did not spot him in time, and Purdy Curdy's gonna take a panzer to the back as Simon T finishes him off.
It almost feels like Tycon did that to lure them out. Like Tycon was like, okay, they're gonna push me. When they do, I want you.
いやー、そうにいつになるんだろう。また来年からだと思う。
Is they had all of the backstabs ready. The second Tycon got knocked, Liquid pulled the push trigger, but the counterattack was prepared. I love that. I want to believe that Alpha
が教えたんやろうね、ピークは。VP 2人いるから先生。PUBG の先生、ビーミさんとね。ピークの先生ニキチーさんがいるから。
Basically just got styled on in back-to-back games by the same team in a straight 4v4 fight.
GK22 スプリット。山下、谷の下にある集落を全部空いてる。今のとこ。
Keep those positive mental vibes going as they'll sit around and wait for this one to end and get ready for game number 3.
Yeah. I mean, the upside is if this was golf, they'd be dominating. So there's that, I guess. That said, I mean, you didn't want to say it because it hurts us to say this, right? But at the start of the show, I know you were thinking it when we asked for bottom 4. Team Liquid has just been in the bottom 4 in every final, or the bottom 5, and it's just I don't understand. Yep, they made every final. So consistency is something, but it's also can be something bad, you know. And I do appreciate that they're trying to shake it up. They're doing something different here, being aggressive early. And honestly, I kind of hope they stick with it, because if it wasn't working the old way, just try this for the full set. Like, you know, like what's the difference between going out bottom 5 while you're busting ass for early fights versus going out bottom 5 when you are grinding the slow edge rotations and it's not working. So I give a lot of respect to who try things. I can just say that. It just stinks when you lose. All right, let's jump over to people who don't lose very often, Twisted Minds. You know, Example proved he was a great driver in the last game, but they got wiped, and they can do something different this time around as the Expendables does some scouting. They seem aware that the Falcons are here and decide this is not a fight we're interested in.
Yeah, I think they were in a 2-2 split, and they saw the Falcons pulled up, so smart play there by Duck Shoes and the boys to just go ahead and pull out of that. As you see Powell, just beautiful shots coming from him, and yeah, that's Panzer to the back, and Alpha again. Yeah, you see he's letting them know that is twice in a row that Alpha has put liquid in the blender.
So, as the Expendables move somewhere else, let's check in real quick with the Falcons and see what their plan is as the circle begins to close.
All right.
Okay, well, they're gonna watch us. They're gonna watch us leave as two from Orange.
Be careful, they could be in our valley. They could be here in second. If they are,
yeah.
Look at the valley. The bus is yours, yeah? Yeah, that's my car. That's my car. Okay. Well, you can. There's only one car on yellow now. It's in the open plains, though. I think they just backfill us in planes if we're chilling.
뭐 토크니.
Do we need info on pop of anything, Gustav?
It would be anything north. I don't know if you can see. Like, I think yellow waypoint might be split like this.
EA and TE are fighting in treatment. TE1.
Orders at you.
That's the treatment. All right, so we're back to E-Arena. They just found the Expendables. Expendables had to leave Falcons. They rotated here to water treatment. E-Arena had a trap set. So we'll jump to Nurin's live as they chase down the Expendables. Just trying to, again, they just have to drive away and leave another man behind. This has been a really tough, constant rotation, non-stop rotation for the Expendables that just seem lost right now.
Okay, that hard shift. Once again, going to the northwest, and now T1 is looking
ラコブ
fantastic.
誰もいません
See the helicopter
ラ
in
コ
the
ブ
air.
側の集落誰もいません
Back, but he is gonna have to be by himself for a little bit as the rest of the team
西側のチーム有利だね北側のチームは若干リスクはある
Expendables already on their way, but they're going to be running into 4 a.m. who is trying to crash this
おーこ
compound
っ
just
ち
to
に
the
よ
side
る
of
読みだ
PK.
ねこれ
Already all 4 deep into the compound itself. They should be able to hold a line for now as you see GAM trying to make their way through. Gen G taking shots down, but just don't have the angles, don't have the full lines of fire to cause the Expendables that much problem.
They're like that last kid to arrive at camp that every time he tries to find a bunk, it's just taken. There's already a bag there. There's already someone saying can't sleep here. And they can't find anything. Simon T up from the high ground and goes for a little bit of Nixie pop, but Nixie says, okay, I got to back undercover. And then he takes the motorcycle. He says, well, you're here with us now and there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, and Simon T's kind of all by himself, too. The rest of his squad is already inside the zone off to the north, so he's causing problems for Virtus Pro, but Virtus Pro may cause him problems here as now Himass was waiting for E-Arena to take the E-pickup, takes the shots, gets Opons, and now a couple of E-Arena members will leave, but one will stay behind to try to go for that res. It's going to be Nurin's, and now E-Arena, they're in a little bit of a spot. Okay, it looks like the two guys that went up in the E-pickup immediately drop back down.
Immediately they get back to this. They're going to land on the roof. They got a good chance to fight back against Himass, and he says to his credit, that's fine. I slowed you down. I ruined your E-pickup. Where are you guys going? Nowhere. Now we can rotate ahead of you and actually possibly pick up kills when you have to drive in inevitably next. They have found a little bit of a place to call home, not anywhere anyone wants to be primarily located, but it will get them at least some cover from this assault from a high that has been Alpha watching their rotation.
Yeah, gets them into the circle at least.
Yeah.
As you said, not the greatest spot, and Alpha will have vision down onto that. Simon T was able to disengage, and it looks like he's going to be able to rejoin the rest of the squad. Looks like Virtus Pro maybe following behind him, though. So Luca Rux kind of looking over in his direction. We'll see what happens there. Falcons still in a 2-2 split, keeping close eye on 4 a.m. They just want to make sure they don't get peppered with utility here anytime soon as Luca Rux does get the knock and flush onto Simon T.
This is a tough neighborhood. You got these three houses, you got above them. Gen G's going to be looking down the whole time. 17, a nice little rotation on the hills, but I got to be honest, that little neighborhood we just looked at is going to be a little bit passive for a while, but absolutely deadly to anyone who drives it. You try to make a rotation through that area, you're going to get pumped full of lead, no questions asked. So that'll be fun to watch. 17 looks like they're gearing up for a big send right now. And they are meeting, rotating, and staying together. I like that perspective.
Interesting to see what T1 does now that they have this 2-2 split. Okay, it looks like they're going to pull
東側のチームが外れたね。
and bring back down. So
そうだよね、
Supers,
北
they
西
should know that that compound is now free.
西側のチームが北側行って結構フリーなの分かって、東側はあんまり動けないから手前側取って、でまた東側が外れるとなるともうこっからはきついね、東のチーム。だいぶ一番きついのは 5M ジェンジ。
So they're going to try to make an aggressive backfill here. They know one man was left behind. They're going to aggressively push him. Goes for the spray. Doesn't quite get it. He's tucked into the corner. They have the comms. There's the knock and the flush. Made in Thailand moves in with a very cheeky backfill that gets them a point.
Yeah, I don't know. Supers. It felt like they had all
そう
four
です。
vehicles.
ニキシー先生もいま
The
す。
compound
ピークの先生です
T1 had just left, but maybe getting a little bit greedy there, trying to hold that 2-2 split, and MiTH right there to take advantage. Well played by them, and they should get their man back on his feet as we check back in with our favorite mountain goat, Batulins.
戦うんだ。
Velcro shoes really work.
マジか。
Always. You would expect no
ここを
less.
戦う選択するの
That
すごい
man
な。
was born with crampons. All right, here's the crash. Gustav storms the Bastille. Him and Shrimsy are in, but no. Shen gets him with the head pop right away. Shrimsy's got to make the play. He's inside of enemy territory, slides out to the right side, goes into the shacks. He's got to try to make the kill here. You saw that nade pop off, shuts the door to lock him in, follows it through the entryway. Flash
Nice.
going to push him out. That's a nice knock, Shrimsy. Get Shen from behind. The rest of the team should be arriving. The nade on window was really important.
2 knocks here is 4 a.m. Spaceman, though, he's going to sneak behind Shrimsy.
No!
Didn't even have an idea that he was there.
Nice
Now
move.
it's down to Tiggleton and Kickstart. With 4 a.m., they have 1 left. There you go. Kickstart will find him. That's 4 points picked up for Falcons.
ワースかどうか本当に微妙だ
But
な
it。looks like they got involved in a fight. Is now E Arena and Alpha going to be squaring off, and Alpha
おー、
will
ブーブー入ってきた。
go down. E Arena going to take him down, but Virtus
これいいファイトじゃない？
position to come and
綺麗に勝ち
capitalize.
切りたい。
Not only is it third party while people are limping, it's what they love. Lucarux comes in, they're going to open it up, soften with some grenades through the windows, and then push hard with those ARs. Nern's going to get re-knocked. Opon's in the last man standing, tries to tuck in and hold his position. Meanwhile, again, the Expendables eliminated. It's a 2-side push. They go left, they go right, they go down the middle, and they take him out. That will be the end of E Arena, as well as Gam the Expendables elsewhere. Twisted Minds got cooked by 17. They said, we're going to put on our Velcro shoes and came up here and just dug them out. Man, we're going to have to see the replays in the next game.
いやマジでむずい。
Twisted Minds maybe thought that they could take 17 by surprise.
マップから見ても
To their credit, only took a
むずくね
single
ってなっ
knock
ちゃう。
in that fight before taking down all of what was left of Twisted. Tiggleton, now the last player left alive for
ここ
Falcons.
で穴作ってもね。
Kickstart will bleed
山上
out
から。
in the blue, and yeah, Genji, this is looking like a free point.
まあでも
Raining actually
でもあれ
raining
か
on the takes.
まあ外れただいぶ外れの外れ方してるからその中でまあワンスクワット倒しきるのは大事かもう諦めのプッシュだからなこの後のムーブしても0ポイントで終わる可能性があるからっていう
I would say like fight ready. They've been a little bit aggressive looking to get into fights. They're not finishing them, they're not flushing them, but they've been taking what they can get. Meanwhile, 17 up on top of the hill just wiped Twisted Minds, and now they got Park Pro hidden down below, but that's about it. He's by himself without very much support at all.
Looks like he's about to have some support though. The rest of GK is coming in as Salute will get picked out by Guman as Genji tries to make their way across the road into circle. It looks like they'll get D and Soul there. But that's going to be about it. They got a little bit of room to play around. Supers still going in that direction, but they have to worry about MiTH off to their north. The rest of GK has arrived. And they'll try to take that fight uphill against 17. It's not going to work out too well though, as a Khan is going to get caught on fire. Wemwa will be the one that gets that knock, and Park Pro, all he can do is just lay down some smoke here and try to avoid a push. But 17, it looks like they're going to go ahead and just push a little bit farther uphill and regroup.
You know, I think they thought they could push this, use a little TP perspective to try to take the low ground advantage on some of this fight. But 17 had so much utility and prep that they just absolutely cooked them. And now they can choose to make a couple of counter plays. Geeke on the move, wants to go for the rescue. Meanwhile, you got MiTH pushing into Soup. They've been aggressive as well. Soup's taking fire from the high ground. I don't even know if they fully understand that MiTH is coming aggressively from the back spot. Are they going to be able to take them out? I don't think they know they're here.
I feel like they were looking over in this direction and then they retreated back down into this one compound to make it a little bit more difficult for Made in Thailand. I mean, the smokes would indicate that they know something is awry as Made in Thailand still trying to hold on to that high ground, see if they can spot out anybody. They're just going to start pre-nading everything. And fortunately, the double blue will drop, but they've got plenty of room to move around as MiTH just trying to funnel them with utility, and it's doing a pretty good job.
The funnel is actually pushing to the far side of the compound. They're able to spread out and takes positions. It's a really nice play. Scappy goes in, gets the knock on Rex.
Wow.
Double on Heaven. Great play there to make it happen. Almost exclusively either with utility or softened up with utility. That was textbook breaching.
There's something about MiTH is as soon as the clock rolls over to final, they just are ready to ball. And they are 10 toes in right now. Looking really nice. 7 kills so far. They are getting spotted out by Virtus Pro, who once again 4 deep, have a compound.
T1 ちょっと上がるだけ。さあペロだよ、一番きついの今。ミスは渡れればって感じじゃないかな。渡れればいける。ペロが VP と戦ってくれるんだったらミス・ジェンジだいぶ楽になる。T1 はすぐ登れるけど周りのチームを削りたいからミスに対するモーターか。
Ian's got that mortar out right now. I don't know where he's going to send it, and if anything, it'll just be a prep, top of the hill maybe, try to get up there. Not a lot of options. T1 in a similar situation. Most of their compound now outside that circle.
I think T1 may be playing a little game of chicken here with MiTH. They want to see if maybe they can spot out where MiTH is going to go, and maybe send a few mortars over in that direction. But this is what I was keeping an eye on. Petrichor Road has been playing over on this western side, keeping out of the line of sight of Virtus Pro. They still got 4 up. They can cause problems here. Nixie will get that knock on a kiss. He'll steal it away too.
かきろ入んじゃないこれ。でも前出すぎるとペロから打たれる可能性がある。キルパク。
Taken within 5 HP of his life. Nixie will find that one too. Don't give that boy a lynx. He is just on fire right now. One bullet left, and that's all he needs.
We talked about golf earlier. Well, Nixie's a monster on the links. He's going to double back and pick up his old gun potentially. He just did all the work he possibly could. Says, all right, well, we're done with that now, and goes back to the DNR. That's incredible. That's classic Nixie, man. He was like, you guys are trying to stop me from getting the MVP? Well, I found a links.
There's a reason why this guy keeps getting them. That is for certain. But he will be playing, at least the links is off the field now. You see what 17's thinking here. They've got that high ground. They'll dig in. A little bit of a ditch here. T1 type, make sure to get that mortar. Where are those going to be sent? Is this being sent over towards VP or is this getting sent towards Gen G? To be fair, it's not getting sent towards anybody for now, so this might just be digging out a place for them to play next.
Little side of the hill dig. They did a little bit there to give them some cover from the left and right side. Should they have to push up, they're going to launch the cars and start moving forward. Nixie pushing onto Gen G. Gen G was below. They saw it with the links. Now they're doing it with the grenades. Try to keep them locked off. VP's got a such good spot on top of the hill. The only thing above them is 17. Is that a good nade? Not quite, but I like that they're committed to this. It does feel like maybe we're just wasting utility though, Poro. That's a hard nade to hit.
It's tough, and if nothing else, it's a zoning utility, right? Like it's just saying like don't try to push up here. We've got more for you if you do. Well, one thing I was worried about with VP is they've been very focused over there on the east, and Petrichor Road is now taking that opportunity to get right onto the edge of their compound. It looks like Virtus Pro has retreated back, so I'm not sure if they spotted this out or if this was just a general call to regroup in the hard cover, as Petrichor Road has a beautiful ridge line here and walls to work around.
Petrichor tried to be Petra sneaky, and now they're Petra caught as they're stuck outside. The nade goes off, and Petra says, Petra, no! Tries to fall backwards, but they are committed. They have to get in. This is their win scenario to get into the circle. Virtus Pro immediately falls back, re-ups on the utility out of the boxes that were left behind. Look at that utility piled everywhere in that house. This is the fallback position as Luca Rux gets ready to hold the window.
Yeah, the only other really option here for Pero.
アクションを起こした。それでシーチが来て、ペロが若干きつくなんじゃない一瞬。この人はなんで生きてるんだ。
Unfortunately, the one person that they don't see is the snake in the grass. Him ass once again. No grass for him to hide in. This is just a straight up desert rattlesnake. Right behind him is the Jaws music is back.
Jaws じゃなくない？
That's not Jaws music.
そうだよね。
GoldenEye.
Okay.
You know he's gonna stand up and do some work here. Come on, just wipe him. Not that I think just like 17. It's just him ass, right? Like it's so exciting to see him four-man people.
The 240.
ミッションインポッシブルじゃなくて。
That he could use at any moment. But Petrichor Road still have utility left in the bag. They're still trying to dig out Virtus Pro. That one might be good enough. No, Dixie will get the heal off just in time. Virtus Pro now 9 kills, and Pero just cannot find a way to open a door into this breach.
Oh, it is tough. Petrichor is facing an impossible mission as they try to get forward into this building right now.
Whoa! Oh! これ2ノック。あ、どこまで行ってんのかわかんないのか。
No wonder they were throwing it downhill earlier. They're just chucking it arbitrarily in every direction. This is the true porcupine, except done with explosives instead of
これモーター入れてないな。VT。グレー入れてるな、車の中に。
He takes the knock from the grenade. Soul actually finds a knock as well on I-26 V6. We'll see if Ming Ming can actually get that revive. It looks like he should be able to. No! 17! Virtus Pro tried to make the push, but 17 was ready.
Yikes. この2ノックはきついな。
They're going to move into the compound, but Soul has not given up. He's going to find the knock on a Chewy as now Petrichor Road will hide in the smokes.
Beamy trying to make something happen. He's bouncing around. There's blue zones everywhere. He's knocked in between them. Nixie has to fall back. Two players alive, put up on the high ground. 17 doing some work, but here's him ass. The backstab could be popping. Throws the nade, wants to make an attack. He's tucked into a little bit of the high ground. Patriots as they hold, but Petrichor's in. The sneaky deaky Petrichor has made it into the compound.
Big fights going on all over. No, he's going to get spotted out by Ming Ming. Petrichor.
VP もこれ終わりだ。
We'll see if they're able to reset, but
美味しくいただくジェンジー。シーチージェンジー美味しくいただいてるけど、シーチーもきついのかなと思ったけど、いけてるんだ、4人で。 ヒマスグレ投げたのに許されてる。投げられてると思ってない。
from the high ground was only stopped because of the backstab from him ass trying to make a little play there. He's going to keep them tied up as he plays the palm tree. Circles closing, doesn't have a lot of time as it gets up on his back. Down below, you can see Genji trying to find a way to get into this compound. What can him ass do? He sees the visual. He's got the double!
Oh! マジか!
Himass gets 3. He had them absolutely dead to rights, and 17 gets bit by the rattlesnake as Petrichor Road down to 04 MB. He's gonna find Soul.
やばいやばい。
Take down the second. D will cover his teammate, and Gen G will now be one left alive. Himass trying to see if he can.
マジか。
Can he do it by himself? He spotted out Wemboy. He knows where he is. He's gonna take the shot. Wemboy using his teammate as cover.
でも十分。Oh my god います。一人で3キル。これ取られてないよな。
17 absolutely
taken
to shreds by one.
うわーマジか。
D goes does his job and tries to save Soul. Raining is on the push. Heather from the other side. They'd like to close this out. One last member of Genji in the hole. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. T1 pushes up over the top and takes the win. But that end game, the war for the hilltop,
いや成功でしょこれ。ミッションインポッシブル。
Let's get Match'em and Avenger back into this. That last final
今
fight
さっきこそ歌ってほしかったけどな。
giving Match'em. It was so good.
Oh, dude. Himass on the high point, looking down on the 17 Gaming and handing T1 everything that they could want. T1, who's just been struggling to find their way into these finals, comes in on
T1 に渡したねドンカツは。でもヒマス的にはもうユニオンズレジェンズ的にはバンバン剤でしょ。
What a way to do it. Him as just insane. So well played. And I honestly, again, a situation for him to do that. You're not expecting more than 1 or 2 knocks. He gets all 3 and then is still in cover so well played, man. What a way to do it.
Him amazing. And that's, you know, that's the crazy part though, Poro, is as we watched it, like, he started to sneak up on that tree, and I think both of us were like, oh god, he's gonna do it to him, right? Like, how many players are in the world where you see this and you're like, oh, he's gonna go triple, like he could possibly go with a quad wipe, and it just blows me away every time we get these raw skill displays from him.
I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts, and he played it so smart too, knowing that he had those 2 grenades still left to play around. He threw those, so 17 still had no idea where this guy was. Like, they knew the grenades were coming, but they had no idea it was coming from behind them. The call was coming from inside the house, and at the end they unfortunately found themselves in perfectly lined up there for him as Nixie with the Lynx. Oh, call him Lynxie? Is that guy still around?
Oh, that's an old throwback. When we were watching this though, Avenger and I, it just kind of caught us off guard. It was such a cool play for Nixie to run forward, grab the Lynx, blow all the ammo, and then just instantly run back. And that is such a smart, heady play from that team.
I mean, that was just Nixie being like, oh, hey, I got some space and I'm going to blaze up this map. Because at the end of the day, like, that was such a good high ground position. 17 actually just, I feel like was like, hey, we're just content to let you guys run that side of the hill for us. Ultimately, it fell apart, though. T1 wins this. And, Martin, it is not with a huge kill count. I would argue that they won this on the back of everybody else's hard work.
Yeah, T1 getting 15 points from that. Obviously, sure, it's not a lot of hard work for them, but you take those. The games you're not supposed to win, if you get those, you're absolutely fine with it. And again, in a situation where they're saying, okay, well, 3 out of 4 17 players just died. Man of the match did so. Nope, that's wrong. That is him ass. You gotta give it to that man. It's the man of the match. Is the man of the match for the team T1 is also him ass. But yeah, 4 kills here. Well played by Soul. Good clutch as well. A little bit of a salvage situation for Gen G though.
I also think you have to take 1 point away from everything that Soul does, because he has an extra person with him at all times. Like, D is like 0.5 Soul in every rotation that we see. It seems like his job is just to back up Soul at every moment, which has actually been working out pretty well for them. T1 does come away with that win. 17 gaming though, 10 kills and that 5 placement points. Like, if they hadn't gotten caught in the back from High Mass, I think this was the easiest win of their life. They've got to be pretty frustrated by that. Poro.
I mean, it's a second and a third. And I mean, frustrations from that one, from getting backstab, and maybe frustrations from game 1 a little bit from having that field position that they just weren't able to hold, and they end up losing that. Coming in second to Geeke there, as you see the total leaderboard. T1, baby, a third and a first. Haven't made a final yet, and they are coming in here ready to play.
Built for the TPP. We'll see if it plays out as they get 28. This is starting out as a strong Korea day. Geeke taking the first one, T1 coming through on the second. 17 just sort of caught in the middle with some good consistent finishes. And Made in Thailand, again, putting up some fun numbers and work when they need to. It has been a fascinating first 2 games. And honestly, I think some shifts would be my story so far, Match, on the idea that both of these games had some very unique end games, some very tough late game shifts with some very open circles that required, I think, teams to think around the box, right? Like, you couldn't just dig holes this time. You had to understand how to aggress a mountain.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just 2026 whenever you look at PUBG, right? It's just hard shifts everywhere, and teams are doing a really good job on figuring out for the most part, but in some cases we get these really dynamic shifts, like you're talking about into the mountains, that can make it a lot more high ground, low ground. We saw that 17 kind of high-masked Twisted Minds before they got high-masked. So it's like a lot of these teams were playing on different plateaus, trying to keep control over territory, and that can sometimes lead into a certain stalls in location and death funnels into others. And 17 was in a lot more of the stall position, but keeping control over everything that was going down in the death funnel, whereas VP was just in the middle of the funnel and enjoying it, trying to find as many kills as possible.
It was chaos. Death Funnel is a great way to describe it. The first 2 games are done. That means 3 more today and 13 more to play overall before we crown a champion. I did it. I got the math right. I know. I'm amazing. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more math, more action, more frags, and more fun, and more comments after this break.
Hello everyone, welcome to the interview. We have Fifix and Sose with us here. Hello. Like when you think back to PGS 8, what's the biggest lesson the team learned from that experience?
We need to be stronger in our team play, moments inside of the game, good moves, and that's it.
Was there a particular moment when you felt the team needed to change something?
I wouldn't say it was a particular moment, it was like just a couple moments, which was like basically the worst because it was the same problem. So I would say like there's no like basically particular moment. I think it's like the bunch of moments. I would say like team play is not only like that. It doesn't come from like experience, or it doesn't come from like the experience you had together. Like new team is all the time new kind of team play because like it's all the time different players. I mean maybe I was playing with Sauce like 1 year, you know. But like with other guys it's completely different, and to get team play like with everyone all along, you need to work like it works differently with different players.
You've been in China for a little while now. Have you found a favorite local food yet?
I love duck.
I would say like, I mean I tried more than sausage, so I would say like hot pot is pretty good. I mean I like spicy food, so for me it's fine.
Like imagine you could invite any player in the world to join a dinner tonight. Who would you invite? Yeah, of course.
Kuba.
Like tell us why.
I feel like Kuba would be like a good guy to spend time with and a good guy to play with.
Thank you for joining us for today. See you in the games. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Fueled by the same passion as esports athletes, ZOWI continuously develops tailored products, empowering gamers to bring their best out. Today, we are launching the all-new XL2566X Plus, which uses the newly developed Fast TN panel and upgraded Diac2 technology. The new monitor series continue to evolve, refining details to ensure players can perform their best consistently in games.
Arctis Nova 7 Gen 2. The app called the biggest cheat code in the industry is here for PC and console. It's got real-time audio control to do crazy things.
Okay.
So use it and abuse it, you crazy person. It's the new gold standard.
We got next, we ready to flex, we're ready to rock, give it all you got, we got next. Y'all rockin' to the top, can't stop it, must be off your rocker thinking you gon' stop us. We got next.
And now we're back, not from outer space, but from Shanghai, China. This is PGS 9 2026, and we're 2 games into a 15-game series to crown a champion. And if anything is the story so far, it's about consistency. My name's TWIS. I'm with Porosaurus, Matchroom, and Avengers. We break down the action, and so far the top teams have been consistent. Let's run through this real quick for you. T1, 3rd and then 1st. 17, 2nd and then 3rd. Geeke, 1st and then 9th. Anyone's Legend, 4th and then 4th. So most of these top teams have been consistently finding ways to get points. And I'm going to be honest, Martin, it hasn't been easy. These circles have been aggressive, shifty, and not a lot of cover.
No, and also this high ground, like when you only have a few compounds, everyone's fighting for the same space that is never being pushed out by the blue zone, right? And especially when you have teams that are like claiming an edge, you don't expect a lot of other teams to kind of do anything else and just wait for their pizza slice to be smaller and push towards that middle that is tasty.
And if we want to talk about consistency from the top, we've also got to talk about it from the bottom. It has been difficult so far for teams like Liquid and Twisted Minds. Gam the Expendables, Supers, almost always finishing outside that top 10, and I just feel like they can't get anything going. Rotations have been tough. Do you see any similarities yet, or is it too soon?
I mean, I think it's still too soon, but yeah, it's definitely not the way they wanted to start off. I mean, Supers is down there as well, so
sure.
I don't know. We'll see if they can find something here now that we're switching over to Tego.
As we switch to Tego, it's time to kick off. The teams at the bottom need to find points because while it's 15 games to the championship, it's not a long road as you think it is. You've got to get those engines fired up and you've got to start closing that gap now because it's not about making top 8. It's about getting first, and there is not a lot of time to recover. The plane is in the air. The path is up. Let's go to our casters for game number 3. It is Avenger and Matchroom.
Okay, it is Tego time because we are playing this game a ton, specifically on this map this year. Talk about a long road. It has been a marathon to get to this stage, starting with the last PGS Avenger. What? It was PGS into PNC, into EWC, into Games of the Future, now back to PGS. This is where the mental just has to kick in, and you have to get that last little sprint going.
And especially considering how much money is on the line for this one. And yeah, almost a 2 month plus stretch here for the teams trying to get into the most important tournaments of the year, where the PGS points on the board, tons and tons of prize, millions across the last 2 months here. I think we're up towards $2.5 million given out in just the last 2 months. Just insanity. Good to see here. And all the teams with this northern plane path here making it a little bit difficult. Soul going for some miracle shots. We've seen it before. And oh my god, Matchroom, what an insane circle to start things off with. T1's going to be happy. DN Supers are going to be happy. And E-Arena is out there too alongside Gam, the Expendables. But a lot of the other teams are really far away from this one.
Island Circle, calling it. No, not going to get it on Miramar. Instead, we're going to get it on, Tego. And not talking about like the secondary main island from the peninsula. I'm talking about that little bitty one, just north of T1.
いや、ありえるよ。
Focusing up over there.
中洲の話してる。そこによる可能性だって全然ある。見たことあるからね。
Kind of creating a line of demarcation between teams. It does feel like they're going to lean a bit more northern, but squads like Supers, who could use some momentum, E-Arena, Gam, the Expendables, all going to have inside track points to play from very early in this game.
Let's take a quick look at the last game here. Absolute insanity with the northern kind of shifts here. We saw some big teams getting big amount of points. There's some big pull up here, but again, Kickstart and the Falcons point. They got some points here and there, but it's a rough circle for the rest of them. They got 10.
Yeah, I mean, whenever looking down here at the bottom of the leaderboard, kind of leaning into the consistency, it's been a lot of like 8th and plus for these teams. I mean, even whenever we kind of look at Alpha Gaming, who is on a bit of a come up right now, holding down that 8th place position, they're in 8th because they have a 12th, 4 kills, and a 14th with 5 kills. So really, it's just the kills that are holding them in there. And that's no placement points so far. And as we kind of look down, that's the trend for everybody in our bottom 8. It's just not even managing to make it into the end game because it feels like these players are trying to convince PUBG that we need 15 games. They are making these games spicy off the start.
They are indeed. And one of the teams that's made it really spicy so has been Anyone's Legends. Let's hear to the interview from him over in Shanghai.
Everyone, welcome. We have Himas with us here from Anyone's Legend. You like a crazy ambush. What was going through your mind in that moment? 就当时做这个埋伏的时候是怎么想的
Khi em phục kích 3 người trong match 2 rồi sau đó em đang suy nghĩ là gì?
Lúc đó thì em chỉ muốn sinh tồn để vào top thôi. Nhưng mà lúc sau mà em đứng lên đồi thì em thấy team 17 đang nằm, cho nên là em bóp còi luôn ạ.
他说他只是想说苟到前4，然后没想到他转个头突然发现17他们有几个人就是趴在那儿，然后他就激动了，然后就直接开枪了。
哦。 Hima said he just wanted to survive the top 4. But meanwhile, when he was like carrying his view and he saw like 17 players and then he shot. All right, it's kind of coincidence. It's interesting and hope you guys to have good performance in the following games. Bye bye.
Coincidence? 本当に?
Yeah, and that is, of course, hearing from him as from that high ground. What a spot for him to get in some points, placement points as well. And right now on 21 points, as you see, they're very close to striking distance within that podium here. And if they get that ball rolling, we could see a different anyone's Legends than what we've seen from the last few games here. They've had some really big struggle games. And now we're to Falcons here. Good shots actually hitting Twisted Minds. Lou going down here, Matt.
Yeah, this is going to be very far from the circle.
おお、またこの2チームが当たるのか。
just instantly turn around the two lanes, coming to reinforce. 4 Angry Men are just going to be the south of this, but they've got a Petrichor Road situation that's kind of brewing. They're trying to get away from. So this puts Perfectix in a bit of an odd spot. Couple of shots that he's going to try to throw out. Example's already going to be reinforcing. This is just going to be about setting pacing and seeing if Twisted Minds can slow it back down to allow reinforcements to come in. But that's perfect for 4 Angry Men who are now just going to be coming from just the south of this. They see these smokes. They know everything that's going to be going on. Do they get involved as well, or do they continue on their merry way?
Actually disengaging completely from this one. It's actually smart again. Like, sure, you can get in and you can poke a few points at it, but if you look at the circle, they are...
おお、バツリンズが落ちた。これ U ターンするんじゃない？ワンチャン。
4AM third party here. They could consider if they can get some more points. But Falcons, smart decision to disengage and just try to get into the circle. Sure, they have no priority into the next one, but at least the information they're able to get from seeing other teams rotate in and around the next one is important.
Oh, wow. With 4 Angry Men coming in so hot, Twisted's just got to send it out at this point. They're going to be going back over into the west. Wind is already waiting over here up on the upper sections of the hillside. Falcons has just kind of meandered a bit more to the north, and they've stopped off. They've realized that there's going to be a third-party firefight that's going on. The hillside, the way that Falcons are set, has too many trees that are kind of blocking this out, but they should be able to vision on.
Wow, 今度 4M に。
So Kickstart's going to find that one.
いや、熱いね。
And so far, it's Falcons that are coming up from the beneficiary of it all.
Falcons are really considering if they can get some few more points here. Actually see some more shots. This is smart from them.
いや、ミクロの戦いはめっちゃいいね。
If take out a 6 or an 8x here, they're getting close. They see the nade window. Oh, just one little damage from the nade here is going to knock him and do more damage once again. Both cars are getting hurt as well from it.
さあ、挟まれたのは 4M。
Really committing this one. Window's still 1 HP. He's going to try to get the heal off. Oh, example as well from the third party.
Yep. Okay, now it's Twisted Minds that's the third party. Take a couple of shots, and Example staying behind while Perfectix might be going back maybe to pick up blue chips. I don't know exactly. Falcons making a more aggressive move down into 4 Angry Men, seeing if they can find another knock onto him. But Example still just going to be kind of holding back the line, and 4 Angry Men kind of cut back over into the south. That's going to give them the distance away from Twisted Minds. So Falcons, I think that they might just say, okay, job's done, circle 1. That's about all we wanted out of it, and eyes back over to circle
1ポイントしか取れなかったか今のうまかったんだけど。
Get some priority, and he's sitting here with my fingers and hands and everything crossed that I can that we get a southern shift. Just to make it more fun to watch and to torture more of these players, Matt. Sure, there's a lot of good space in between GodL, Hamusa, and Palace, but some of these circles are just crazy when we have this absolute mayhem that's going on. Although, that being said, with the red zone being somewhat center close south of Hamusa, we can have some really good late games in there too because of what all this terrain is being destroyed from that red zone.
Yep. And yeah, you hit a great topic on it. Whenever we kind of see the red zone play more center, kind of just pop in all those holes for people to be able to rotate into, especially in the more barren sections of the map. That is great to see. New circle about to pop in just a second or two, so we'll see how that goes. Wolsong's kind of staying in here. We do get a lot of very interesting, more vertical positions that the teams could be playing over there, but it's mostly going to be right along the edge of the zone. Lots of coastline, and the Expendables going to go for a full regroup around Haemun Sa. And I guess maybe T1 wrapping back behind Arena. The Arena, if they don't get a move on, they can suddenly find themselves with an aggressive T1 looking play.
Now with the res in from Twisted Minds here, they're going to get the recall going on. And sure, they're going to have somewhat of delay. They actually made it just in time for it. And the guys are going to be coming in and be able to scout for the guys coming in super late here. I would assume the TWIS has to send the guys to Walsong or some of the northern compounds just to get some loot. As T1 is trying to get in on the edge, western edge of this circle here, close to the water, trying to set up shop on the outskirts of Hamusa. We have a lot of these really good ridges and the rocks that's very playable, and I assume they'll be setting up shop just to get some control here, because Hamusa is already taken by multiple teams, the Expendables, and E-Arena is setting up shop east of it.
Team Liquid going for an emergency pickup, mainly because anyone's a legend. Looks like they want to feast on him, so they're going to get yoinked up into the sky. Couple of shots, a little bit of damage, nothing really too much just yet, but that bit of attrition damage does stack up on landing, so we'll have to see where they opt into going. Right now, most of the circle, like you were talking about, a lot of good hillsides, things that you can kind of play around. As long as we don't pull down into the southeast and that field's kind of coming out of Godok, that can get a bit more of the flat areas. Geek K also going to spot out 4 Angry Men, and yeah, 4 Angry Men's just been involved in a lot of stuff early, and I don't think that they've really wanted to be involved in most of it.
I'm sure they hate being on the end of the stick all the time, and here Park Pro is going to be able to get an easy kill onto Winter. The flush there too, well played by Geeky, but still out in the blue. Difficult to get more control and kind of entries into this circle when you do it this late. Now another blue zone here, and Godog is going to make Falcons delay a little bit. They're going to have to get out of it. But getting in from this northern side is not smart, and that's definitely their approach. If I know Gustav right and his gelling method here, when you have a northern shift, getting on the other side is going to be the least active side, and it's still the fact. Everyone else is in the center. Only one team all the way up in the north is MiTH.
Team Liquid makes landfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have any vehicles, though, so I guess it's just going to be praying for a coastal shift. I mean, it's a pretty good position, right? I mean, it's center-ish. But I do worry if we get hard shifts, which Team Liquid seems to always get hard shifts away from them, they're going to have to just walk right through every team, and that is going to be really hard.
Absolutely. Petrico Road also sailing on the other side here, trying to get into this circle here on the western side. They're actually going to go past a lot of crates that's out in the water. So now they're okay. They're reconsidering here. There's some teams that's actually kind of going in, and the more more time being delayed. Another northern shift, Matt, with still a lot of water.
いや、ファルコンズいいローテートじゃない？ティステッドマインズ、アイムニードルのとこに来る可能性あるよ。
Keeps the water in, and of course, Petrichor Road abandoning their name entirely as they are just trying to cut a watery path. Death Funnel looks like it is going to be down to the southeast, as it is going to be T1, Jin G leading the path on one side of it, 17 on the other, VP right on top of him. Couple of shots could be exchanged as a car jousting is going to be coming out. On defense is going to be Alpha Gaming. Couple of shots, at least getting the damage early. See if anything can happen on the other side of that from 17. They're cutting more into this northern path, and that's going to be where MiTH is already trying to rotate. You can see it feels like it's getting just denied every single angle of approach. So now 17 turns back into the Alpha side. VP doing the same. It looks like this could be crunched.
Yeah.
Two different sides, but Tycon keeps the defense, and Nixie goes down.
All the teams trying to get into the southern side matchroom is so difficult for any entry, because the Arena, APG, and now VP and 17 is trying to hold on to just an edge of this space. There's so much space in the north, and Falcons has read it so right. Dogmai finds a shot, and Xiaowu goes down. 17 has been so unlucky, losing so many, and Beamy actually steals it away from APG.
Random just ghost-rided whips rolling around everywhere. 17 can't find anywhere to stop, so the east, too bad. Let's cut over into the west, and they're doing it roughly the same timing the Falcons are making their rotate. Team Liquid territory was kind of what we saw over here. They have moved more down into the south. So 17 spotting out what's going on with MiTH, hearing the shots coming up from Team Liquid. They're moving more north. Falcons has stopped. They spotted out Petrichor Road in their boat. They're taking shots. 17 now hears this. They can no longer go more to the west, so now it's time to cut back into the north. They've got a little bit of a split, and finally nobody is shooting them, and this has just got to be enough.
Wonga, if Expendables smart about it, just waiting until they're out in the open. But T1 finds them. He's going to go for some shots towards Petrichor Road anyway. 3 gear in hand and on equip, but nades are coming out. Tanmu finds Ice Petrichor Road on the receiving end on multiple shots.
This is just fish in a barrel, and it feels terrible to watch. Right as soon as they're trying to make landfall, instantly punished. Again, the Expendables needing points, and it feels like Petrichor Road going to be finding themselves delivering them. Ming Ming taking a lot of damage. He's going to go down. That's going to be Heather getting involved down to the south as there is a ridge that T1's trying to exploit and using Petrichor Road as a leapfrog to get themselves into the compounds.
Good nades. T1 stealing all of it. Chloris actually get Ian here with a nade. That's good. Type is now going to have to try to defend. And Ian, oh, that's a great nade. That could find him as well. Lukaruk's gone down. D finds a nade and opens. Every single team trying to be engaged here. More utility being committed. That's a great Molotov. It's going to catch Lil Ghost. He's actually on fire. All the damage done. Kickstart finds the kill. And 17 Gaming is out as the first team in this insane match here on Tego.
Woo, all right, Circle Pops. Hey, Moon South stays a big part of it. So now eyes down to the south. T1's going to be gate kept a little bit. E-Arena as well as Jin G stacked on top of each other. Anyone's Legend going to be trying to hold back Alpha as well as VP, maybe even 4 Angry Men. GK, very little options. They're probably just going to have to push more along to the north where Twisted Minds and Falcons are defending. Super's thinking a similar idea. Jin G, though, in the thick of it. They're just trying to fight their way up against and find their kill points early because Jin G wants as much as they can find over here. But Lyrics is spotted out Bean and gets the knock on him.
Oh, T1 absolutely destroyed by Clarice. He got all of them. T1 is just out of the game. They denied this complete push that we saw from T1. Yeah, there's just one player left. Wang is holding in a corner. GTE is holding on to the south side and denying any entry into Hamusa. Everyone's going to have to fight on the edge.
Okay, where do you go? E-Arena, with the way that they're kind of split over here, they're just trying to finish out this fight with Jin G. Nothing's happening over to the north. 4 Angry Men going to be rolling just to the north of this, but E-Arena focused in. They want to deal with Jin G, and that makes an opportunity for 4 Angry Men to just kind of sneak their way by, and they're going to be running right into the Team Liquid positioning. Alpha Gaming finally going to be eliminated, and that's going to be VP that man should take them down. Panzerfaust punch to finish it off, but VP now has to make the cross, and they're going right into anyone's Legend territory if they walk just across the road, which I have to imagine they don't want to do. 4 Angry Men, that
they were juven
back. Shots connect. Cowboy on the high ground wants to hit that last tap, and he gets it.
Super well played by Team Liquid here, but they're out in the open. Shots are coming in towards them. Cowboy gets knocked by Akan here. Particular Road is out in 13 play as well as 4AM is completely done for here. Well played. Spaceman gone down. Super rough game for 4AM. They're now left to just Shen inside Hamusa.
Pick your firefights. Kill feed's just been absolutely popping off. To the north, we do have Falcons now trying to hold back Supers. They're kind of this more open section right along the coastline, and this is incredibly punishable. There is a bit of a hill that Supers did manage to get right on top of Falcons next to. Nade's coming out, but already repositioning. Shrimsy's going to be the point man, holding the line while the rest of the Falcons reposition to deal with this approach coming up from the Supers. And it is going to be on him right in the thick. Oh, are they running right by him? They have to assume he's in there. The Jack of the Box lines up, and Shrimsy finds it. Spins it back around. Gonna go ahead and find himself a second with the assistance of Kickstart. And now Super's in a ton of trouble.
So well played here. Twisted Minds also out in 11th place, and now we're down to just D and Supers here. Rex is trying to survive, but the blue zone is punishing him hard. And the points have been confirmed here for Shrimsy and the guys. Getting all the DN Supers. 5 for Kickstart. What a game for him so far.
バルコンズにとっては大きなゲームになりそうではある。次寄るかどうか。
Pretty chill over here now as it is just poor old Rex. The East is now starting to
GK だけ入っ
Super is going to finally get
海岸沿いか？いや無理だな。
do enough to finish it off with the assistance coming from the Falcons. So GK, the new gatekeepers of the North, going to have to be dealing with Falcons as well as VP. That's still stacked on top of anyone's Legend as Nades coming out everywhere in this firefight.
MS trying to survive now. One more nades, more utility being thrown his way. 22 damage to do the last one. He starts sticking to try to survive. They're not even inside this zone here. MiTH is completely destroying this off angle here, and blue zones are being deployed. Scabby finds Destroy for the confirmation. Him as still super low. And, MiTH trying to maintain control of this season side here. They have to get into the circle as well, Matt. That's a huge problem. And Genji's third-partying this fight too.
Timing for Jinji is absolutely perfect. Everything has kind of come up as Haemoon Sa is just the expendables right now. So Jinji is just kind of holding the other side of this hill to the east. Once they crest up on the top of it, the expendables could have some vision on him, but MiTH, anyone's a legend. Poor old Himas all by himself yet again, but you never count on Himas. He will find a way to punish Falcons pushing on top of Geek. On the other side of it, kind of seeing if they can get a piece.
これハイムサーからの車線はあんまないのか。
Team Liquid, while they have center, is more afraid of what's going on around Haemoon Sa.
あ、むずいな。
This is
まあ
really
顔
important
出そう
fight
と
for
する
them
と
if
打た
they
れ
can
るのか。
maintain control of the
って言
northern
って
side
も
here.
ハイ
Shen
ム
actually
サ
goes out on 8th
ワン
place
パー
here.
ティーしかいない
Stuck
から。
founded. More utilities being destroyed and thrown here towards it. And Khan in the smoke here. That's a great nade straight off the smoke. That's in his pocket. Corrects. He just hits all of it as VP is trying to make the most of this. Just a two-man. Beamy with
見え
4
てるんかっ
kills
てレ
and
ベルぐらい
700
当ててるけ
damage.
どな、グレー。
Oh, this is scary. Team Liquid are the convergence point.
Oh.
This mid already moving down south. VP do manage to finish it up. DK gets eliminated. Falcons have a path into the circle to the northwest along the coastline. So now here's the new set of the gauntlet. Corexy sending it in, and he's going to be running right into Team Liquid. Rolls right up in their face. Kurt gets the knock, and that leaves Beanie back near the blue zone with Falcons right next to him. But Myth now knows the approach angle that they've got to go for, as Team Liquid is going to be the new gatekeeper.
Yeah, now Falcons actually has to go around the edges here. They cannot push it straight towards Team Liquid. They probably have to go to the water side, maybe crawl up and try to get another entry into the circle here. Cowboy finds Scabby as Gen G has also been kind of lurking in the sides of Hamusa. And with Hamusa, this is such a late recall that we actually have active for Expendables holding on and maybe trying to get Chloris back here. Now Shrimps, he's trying to get closer with a knock on to Purdy Curdy. This could be their opening in the northern side that they were hoping for.
It's all starting to focus down on the Team Liquid. How much information do they really have? Let's do a quick listen in to see as they're trying to set all this up. Gamma Expendables now also getting some vision on this firefight.
Cowboy, if you want. We need to kill Myth. We should fight for the Myth space.
Falcons are just gonna take coast on us.
Bike. Just Spirited Peak. Myth driving towards that dead body. Made it.
I'm gonna double check just to see if Myth's down any from early.
I killed one just now. He pulled up on the same spot, Cowboy. Heard. Taking his boy's car. I can't really peek him. Yeah. Without getting shot. I really want to, but Falcon's pulling up another. They're driving at you. I can't stop it. Evade him. Dominate.
Put HP in the car.
Oh, マジか。
Push by green.
取られたけど。
I'm in the smoke. One on yellow.
Okay, now it is the convergence point a galore. We talked about it a second ago, but now it's even going to be worse. The way these circles are now set in phase number 6. Team Liquid's got to deal with Falcons. One side of Gustav is going to go down. Myth still on the outside of it as Team Liquid is the focus without a doubt. Down into Haimunsa, though, Gen G is going to have to figure out, do they play the outer wall or do they finally push in around where the Expendables are going to be playing?
Expendables just holding so much control. Gustav is going to die here. That's a quick bleed for him too. Purdy Curdy throwing a nade. That could catch Kickstart too, but it's definitely going to confirm Gustav. Kickstart disengaging, and they're actually just maintaining control of this kind of northwestern shift that they have here, but the whole ridge line towards the water is still open. Cowboy now finds Jacob, and Myth is going to be absolutely destroyed here as Team Liquid holds on.
7 kills, Falcons, the new target that they can directly focus in. The north is finally calmed down. It is just America's up here between Falcons and Team Liquid. Gen G still slow playing it down to the south, so we've got our top 4 in phase number 6, where it is going to be Team Liquid having this very nice ridge line that they've been holding on to for so long. Falcons got the coast in a bit of a hill. Meanwhile, it is all the defensive line into the eastern section because they know where Gen G is at. Couple of shots coming up from Hong F. Gets a knock onto D.
プッシュするかどうかいいグレ。
And Purdy Curdy finds a nade onto Shrimsy, and the
どっ
car's
ち
on
のファ
fire,
イト
so we
見
do
たら
some
いいん
damage
だ。
to him
ファルコンズ
too.
残り1人。
Now
ティクル
left
ト
to
ン。
just take.
が
He's
ティク
gonna
ル
have
ト
a
ンは
send. Try to maybe go to water side here. Try to get into some of the ridges that he can play here. He's actually perfectly placed. There's a suction cup under this car somehow, man, and it just drives almost vertically along this ridge.
Just enough to stay in there. Gen G, though, it feels like it's just nowhere to go, man. They're trying to creep their way in. They can't find anything over here. The Expendables are feeling themselves on this defense. 7 kills for them as everybody's made it into our top 4 has just been absolutely fragging out. Team Liquid with more control on position now, starting to take shots. And Gen G does find out Purdy Curdy, as it is going to be just him over here. And Team Liquid went on the hunt. Still have one player over here trying to make the approach, and I think it's going to be Cowboy, as Tig is just
nice climbing.
Coming up from Cowboy is going to be enough. On the other side, Gen.G didn't have anywhere really to go, and they are going to get denied out, and it is just Team Liquid versus the Expendables.
いや十分だな。
It feels like
十分だ
everyone
ね。
trying to
ファ
get
ル
into
コンズ。
Hamusa
こ
has
の
been
最初の
fighting
2
for
試
the
合
honor to fight the last team, and
と比べるとね。
Expendables just said no. They're all for alive, and this late recall for them has really paid off. Clarice got 4. They're up to 8 kills, but Team Liquid defending this North successfully. 3 guys alive, 11 kills. What a game for them. And now with this zone here, eventually and surely we're going to have to get out of Hamusa here, man. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really about how much information can Tangu get from up here, or can he get any knocks? The way that the separation comes up from Team Liquid, if Cowboy goes down, that is extremely punishable. Cowboy's not even in the new safe zone yet, so it's going to be Luke holding down the east, Alo a bit more into the west. Meanwhile, the split coming up from the Expendables feels like they're just trying to get their loot and situation and get ready to go for this last firefight, assuming that the compounds could finally be abandoned. But, I mean, there's just so much circle in this that is kind of into a valley coming out from Haemun Sa directly into Team Liquid. If it abandons Haemun Sa, the Expendables are just going to have to fight their way out of it because they're going to have no cover, but they should have a ton of utility given how long they've been chilling in this compound.
And a bike. I love that. Smoke a little bit and then just drive to Alo. He's going to be fine.
They did have a
surely.
vehicle.
That's easy. Through smoke. You're not going to be able to hit that easily. Good shots. Tanwu gets punished as well from Luke with a headshot from the Mini. And he's going to be brought down low. He's going to have to first hit and then stim. There's some good riches that's already been dug out here from Team Liquid. And Luke is holding on to really valuable terrain here with great cover.
Oh, this feels sneaky. Trying to see if maybe he can find a bit more ridgeline control, get some vision on Team Liquid if they go for a peek a bit more into the west. Pacing has slowed down, of course, 30 seconds to kind of get an idea on where this next circle goes. The gamble to the north and to the south is really what each team is praying for. And it's just more players up for the Expendables, so more containment that they can try to go for is other side of it for Team Liquid is just dig as far down as they can get. Find diamonds, find safety. It's that Hong F angle. If it wasn't for the digging here, could be extremely punished. And if anything, it's just now more information for the Expendables because they know exactly where 2 of the players are set up on the defense. Circle pops, and it kind of goes a bit between, but you have to say it favors Team Liquid.
Does look like it's going to be favoring Team Liquid here. That's a little bit unfortunate for Expendables here. They were really hoping to get just a little bit more here, but especially this last shift, phase 8 so often dictates who has the opportunity to win this. The question is, can you do something about it? And a 4v3 here, that's your chance. You're going to have to peek and make someone else pay. And as Team Liquid is still digging towards these ridges here, the Expendables is going to have to get out before Team Liquid does.
There's a little bit of the compound still in for the Expendables, but that's just stacking everybody into one spot. That doesn't feel good. You lose the Hong F position. He's already started to retreat from that, realizing, okay, let's go back to the walls, the safety that's provided over there. Team Liquid was kind of glancing that direction, but they didn't really have to focus in. So the Expendables are going to be wolf-packed all on top of each other. You have to assume that they've got a lot of smokes, and they're just going to start making a play to slowly push out, most likely whenever we see the circle fully closed down. How do they want to handle the walls, and which exact point do they want to try to break out from, as it looks like the smokes are now starting to come down, and really any knocks going on to Team Liquid right now would just unleash the Expendables. Other side of this, Team Liquid has to wait for the Expendables to leave their fortifications before Team Liquid can really start doing the rampage.
And we saw what Tan was able to do with the spray scope yesterday. Hopefully for them, they're able to do it once again here. So many smokes is coming out here. That's a great push, a great pull up here. And they have identified that Team Liquid is only a single player on the right side, so that is their opening, that is their opportunity. And now they have a rich Team Liquid. Smokes are being deployed too.
Look at how clean that was. Used the smoke line perfectly, cut across, had the information from Hong F, who was playing coastline a second ago, knows the fact that Luke's in the more precarious position by himself. Now they've got the Panzerfaust set up and waiting. Tanvu's still playing very far back behind this to keep any supervision. Team Liquid tries to have Cowboy stretch over just a little bit further, but it feels like the Expendables are starting to get some momentum on their side. They're running a 2-1-1 full separation coming out. Duck Juice going to be the guy with Panzerfaust in the face of Team Liquid as more and more smokes are just getting dumped and denying any information for Team Liquid to work with.
これ届く
Team Liquid is on the back foot here. They're gonna have to make a play here.
お
Nate's
ー
coming
マジ
as
か
well. Sure, that's gonna create some
あれが
space that's gonna be able to be played here, but eventually they're gonna have to come
75
off this ridge here that Expendables has
確保した
taken
ね
the
こ
other
れ
side of.
25は減ら
Both
してるから
Cars
絶
and
対にグレ当
Panzerfaust
てること
and
で
Ox in hand for all of them.
高
They're
級
gonna be able
75
to
までしか
spray
ヒール
them
しない
down
から
once they
ね
push
あと
out.
は
The entire momentum of the game has
気に当たった
changed with the car push. It's mostly
ただ
controlled
リキ
the
ッ
circle
ド
by
ね
the
そうなん
Expendables.
だ
Lots
よ
of utility now starting to come up from T Liquid.
ス
They
モー
realize
クが
that
な
there
い
is
から
an
と思った
opportunity,
ら
some
いや
stuns
惜しい
going to connect, but that's going to be about
Expendables
it.
有利だな
That
だ
Juice
い
is
ぶ
still playing right next to the Molotov, still playing right on the edge of the smoke, trying to see if he can spot anybody. Does get vision, goes for the spray onto Callaway, but that reveals him. He has to retreat. Multiple players for the Expendables now, bouncing both sides. Tarbu spots it. That's going to be 2 down for Team Liquid already.
My.
Damn, the Expendables made the push at the perfect time. Capitalize and take down the entrenched Team Liquid.
And what a game and what a finish for them. They held on to Hamusa for so long, be able to get 4 back strong, and that proved so valuable against Team Liquid. They still got tons of kills. Team Liquid's gonna be happy about this one here as Ring Toffees and Borosaurus back to the conversation. Guys, America's back on top.
You know, they are, and I'm happy for them, but I will always wonder, what could they have done if Purdy hadn't been dunked on by Tiggleton at that very last moment and they had 4 to hold that line? You know what I mean? Like, it felt like having a solo on the left side opened the door for the GTE push, and from that spot they won the game.
America's fun.
You know, but at least they don't shoot each other and then back off like other people might do sometimes. I like that they're willing to take the fight, so good for them. Good for America's in that game, Poro. Fun to watch no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, no, I mean, regardless of not getting the win, it was still a big game for both squads. And really just early game aggression coming out from Falcons specifically, getting the fight with TWIS.
いやーすごいフリーで打てるやん
And then pulling off and then seeing the kill feed when 4AM got the knock on the Twisted.
GG.
Back involved and trying to third party that, but just having the presence of
屋上なくなった後にちょっと投げ物の狂気がなかったあれだけどスモーク出したかったよねリキッドはでもスモークがなかったと思うあれで出さなかったっていう意味はでなんか時計反時計回りに、まあ、お互い回ってみたいなでそこをスモーク越しの戦いになるのかなと思ったけど、まあ、やりたい放題だったね。
Was about as perfectly executed as it could be, Avenger.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we do that, especially a little bit of a slanted hill where you can get really deep in those situations, that off position when you let them, it's like when you let people drive and cross the bridge with the first or 1 or 2 guys go across, it's gonna create complete confusion when someone all of a sudden shoots from behind you where you're expecting your teammate to be, and Clary is really well played. That T1 push 1v4, surely he gets the MVP. Nah, it's probably gonna be 10 with that amount of damage done.
A lot of damage there, but it was a story of 2 games, right? In the sense of like they had that T1 push and they had to totally reset, Matt, and deal with honestly what I thought was a stacked potential like win from Liquid. They had the center dot, they had a good spot. It was hard work to get out there and get to them from the Expendables.
Yeah, whenever we kind of look at the way that kind of fell, we saw the Team Liquid use the emergency pickup, so didn't have as many vehicles, as much utility. They just had to fight for terrain, and they kept it under control from a ton of aggressors. And you're 100% right. It felt like everybody was just kind of waiting for the circle timings, and the Expendables came up with a great play to time it up. But no, a man of the match.
Wow!
Gonna be Luke 12. Love to see it. Almost 1,000 damage.
Wow, the Thunder from down under makes the play and comes out with a huge damage count. But again, that just comes down to the bristle botting they had to do from that center spot. And a lot of that came because of the circle. It was brutal, Poro. From the jump, it was tough. And then that phase 3 shift to put 40% in water and just make everyone sort of play a tight area for a very long time was hard.
It was tough, man. I mean, these circles so far today have not been forgiving at all. And it's kind of putting all the pressure onto these IGLs to figure out how they want to play these things and how and you can see it's kind of led to this early game aggression, these early game fights that we're seeing. But I mean, I got to give credit to the Expendables. You know, it's been a little bit of a slow start today, but the hold against T1, the hold against Petrichor Road, and then the just really, really well played end game there against Liquid. Obviously, just maintaining utility all the way up until the end, and it almost felt like like a foregone conclusion once they were able to leave the compound that there was just nothing that Liquid could do since they had 0 grenades pretty much left.
That win from Gam the Expendables moves them into the top pack. And we do start to see a bit of a separation establishing itself as you've got those 23 Norths all the way up to 29, all the way through the top 7, or top 8, I'm sorry, and then a pretty big fall off towards the bottom. The thing that's killing me right now, Martin, is the fall off is some pretty huge teams. Supers, E-Arena, Twisted Minds, defending world champions. Like, I'm shocked to see them down there.
Yeah, a little bit rough there for that situation. I mean, a huge drop off from 11 points from 10th place up to first is huge. Team Liquid kind of rejoins that top pack where with one good game you're able to strike towards the podium there. But yeah, Twisted, man, that's a rough one. Supers, they got absolutely destroyed by Falcons. But yeah, what can you do when you get landmined?
Absolutely. That was a really tough situation to be in. And I think, you know, as we looked at those guys right now, 4M getting ready, you said during the broadcast, Martin, 4M has to hate being the end of the stick all the time. But there's an old saying that when you find yourself at the end of the barrel, it's because you're the target. And I do think that that's something 4M has to worry about at this point, is other teams finding them, catching them, and really just going after them. All right, well, it's all the time we've got for talking because the plane is in the air. And we're going to get ready to rondo. As we said, Matcham and Martin off to take a short break, and me and Poro are going to be here with the call. We brought it up. Some big teams on the bottom, Poro, and it's not over yet. It's 15 games. The problem is, as you hit the end of day 1, you don't want to go into day 2 chasing and planning for adjustments. You want to know it's working, we can stick with it, and that means winning one of these next 2.
Absolutely, and we saw it last game. Like all our top 4, top 5 really were teams that had kind of had a slow start to the day. So now right back into the mix. They're getting a little bit closer up there towards the top as we see that leaderboard is still very, very much close. Nobody's kind of taken things by the reins and just completely run away with it yet. And I think everybody has to have that in mind coming into this. Even if they had a slow start, this is still very, very much up for grabs. It's still very attainable, especially when you consider the fact that there are 15 games. So we'll see if any teams decide to go for that early game aggression that we've seen so often here today.
And I'm also going to say, like, it's been 3 incredible games, 3 total banana jamma circles, like absolutely nonsensical in some of those shifts that we saw. Even if it was just splitting the water, moving to island, like over and over again, these have been challenging experiences for these players in spots they're not used to finishing. So I think with a plane path like this, the circle again is going to pick a spot. Test Track's touching it, but we have a lot more northern desert than we've had in a minute. And there's a world where those shifts start moving in that direction. And again, throw these players planning into a network of mess.
PUBG やった時にここによって車なくてそのままアンチがいい。
Eastern test track circle, we don't really see that often, not as much as the Western ones, but at least to start things off here, it looks like most of our teams have managed to avoid each other for now. We'll see if that remains the case here. 17, you see them kind of messing around right there in the mix of things here. Only a couple of points removed from the top spot, as again nobody has really run away with it just yet. Let's check in Falcons, your easternmost team here.
And the key is not only has nobody run away with it, but nobody's run away in a position or even shown positioning that implied they were going to get more than one incredible game, right? Like everyone seems to be consistent, but no one's blowing up. And I do think the fact that we've got 8 teams north of 20 and no one over 30 at this stage is starting a track of this could be one of the most competitive finals. When we talked about last week, there were 4 teams going into that last game. It could happen again as the Soup is about to find T1.
I mean, and T1 knew that they were around here, and you can see Ian's got the shotgun in hand. They all knew. Oh! Ian, no way he does that back-to-back. Gets deal in heaven, but will go down in the end of Rex. Wow. And is the rest
トレードが成り立てばね、何でもいいからね。
They're not close enough to capitalize of this.
球が足りなかったね。
Almost pulls off the miracle play.
I would have added a 3rd E to his name if he pulled that one off, but he did not do it. So he will remain as he's summarily dismissed from the map. DN Super is going to survive and get leveled back. You can do it. You can do it. Amphibious car. Easy. Nice job. It's electric, by the way.
Yeah, batteries love water. Everybody knows that. Well, it looks like actually T1 might have been thinking about doing something about this, but Alpha had already kind of made their way over as well. So now T1 down to 3. Looks like they're just going to have to play towards the center of that. And this is the problem when you drop center circle on C1, right? You automatically know, like, 4 minutes in, you're gonna have company. So T1, I think, just realizing, like, we don't really want to try to push this, especially when we know that they're all 4 in there. Like, that's going to be a long, drawn-out fight, and there's every possibility that somebody will try to third party or fourth party us. So won't stick around for that. And now Heather finds himself the lone man out as Spaceman is hovering around, but at least it's just him.
This time it's a still. So the bait will maybe work this time. Heather sees him coming, goes for the spray, heard the car driving around, easy peasy, goes ahead and gets the flush. And this time the rest of T1 was ready to spring the trap. They come zooming in, but it is just one player from 4AM. Heather not only gets the kill, but takes the car for safekeeping.
Free Dacia. Can never be too upset about that.
Free the Dacia.
It looked like Hasameme was kind of rooting around over in that same vicinity, but as soon as the knock and flush came through, he immediately retreated back. So 4AM, once again,
end of the stick.
End of the stick, as they'll play this one out without Spaceman. And
あんまり聞かないんだよね、end of the stick っていう表現。
What's that company that delivers cars directly to your house? Carvana. 4AM. Thank you so much. That really was nice, though. I mean, bringing that, it was nice that T1 was, I guess, able to maybe claw something back from an unfortunate opener there by losing one. It's just a shame that it was at the hands of 4AM, who desperately could use some points right now. 9 points in 12th. They need to get a little more going. Now, let's also talk about Twisted Minds. These guys, exactly, on the bottom, 4 points, got to get something going.
But this is one of those things where you're like, okay, you know that this is not going to stay this way, right? Like this team is just way too good. Like they're a rough 3-game set can happen to anybody, and it can even happen to one of the best teams in the world, and that is what is happening to Twisted right now. But you have every confidence that they'll find some way to turn this around, as we check now in with Virtus Pro coming in from that south side, a little bit close to the trailing member of Anyone's Legend, Delwyn.
You know, you say I have every confidence they're going to turn it around, and I think I'd be confident about VP and some others. I don't know, they just haven't had that spark. It just feels like example isn't exampling the way that example is examples. You know, it's been a little bit of a letdown. Here comes 17 though, into the soup trap. There's been a lot of these solo traps. One person exploring and one person catching them off guard.
Doesn't seem that way, doesn't it? Well,
gets away. He gets away with it.
Fortunately for Lil Ghost, it's the good thing about having the coop. Very small windows, as Guman will get a few shots sent his way from that pillar just off in the distance, and the rest of DNS will kind of regroup around this, knowing that 17 is playing around there. Is now Virtus Pro. Oh no, they get a little bit too close to Anyone's Legend, and Anyone's Legend was waiting for it. They had Delwyn, as we said, Delwyn was that trailing member, so he was feeding that information over to the rest of the team, and they said, you know what, screw this, we're going to stop down and see if we can maybe get a point off of this, and wouldn't you know it, they absolutely do. And now Virtus Pro only 3 alive.
Many ambushes in this game so far. It's been pretty consistent. Oh, here comes another one. Soup from behind is going to go ahead and get himself that flush. The rest of the team's going to try to respond, but we got Soup inside of the building. It went down, so Rex and Heaven both got knocked, but it turns back around as Rex drops. They do manage to counter, and I don't think there's anyone else here to help the Soup.
There is the last super. Not. Yeah, Soup, they're already inside the zone, so Petrichor Road, that's good news for them. They've been having a little bit of a struggle so far here today, but they should be able to fully reset. Nobody looking over in their direction, and they'll now continue making their way into the zone as Super's another slow starting team. I mean, look, I know I said Geeke while I was meaning Supers, but Super's just not having a good start to the day so far. We'll see if they can turn it around, but it's going to be hard here with 1 game remaining, as they're only playing this one out with 2. And now Alpha, they're getting pushed up on. Everybody crashing Toffees.
Alpha, run for the hills. It's been crash after crash with a solo man or a small hold. The rest of Alpha's coming in to help out, though, as Duckmai's got a hold. There's a little help from Simon T, but the rally is on. Gamma Expendables need to be in this building fast because the backup is here.
Indeed it is. Expendables slowing things down, though. They haven't got the knock, and now Wong F is going to get spotted out by Pow. Pow once again in the right place at the right time for Alpha. spot out that first knock as the smokes will get laid down. They'll slow things down as much as they can. Alpha going to try to reposition. Clories, though, will spot out Duckmine as he tries to make his way up the flight of stairs. And now Clories always got some good positioning here, but that's a good cooked grenade. And now that one's going to fall right at his feet, and Tycon will finish him off. Simon T will take a little bit of damage in return as well.
Nade hit him in the shins, dropped down and took him out. Shrimsy also getting involved as the Falcons see an option for a third party. Gets that knock and the Gustav finishes Palace. So APG, who was pretty happy about the way they played this, suffers some losses at the hands of the Falcons.
Beautiful work by him, but Tycon will take down Duckjuice, and now he's going to come around with the shotgun in hand. Tanvu with the Panzerfaust. He'll take down his own player, but he'll take down Tycon as well, and now the Expendables will try to reset, but Falcons are not going to let that happen. Immediately pushing in to try to capitalize.
All right, only TPP lovers love pizza. Or pineapple on their pizza, so vote against it now. Here comes Tiggleton on the big push. He's going to try to make a play as the Expendables are rezzing and hoping for something, but Falcons are hungry for more points. The backstab's possible. Tanvu would have to make an insane play to hold off all four of these hungry boys as the Falcons flood forward for 2 kills. That's the first one. Shrimpsy's going to get Hong F, and that is an easy finish on Tanvu. Nothing you can do. The Expendables are dusted.
Really, really well played there by Falcons. That could have gone very poorly, and we've seen it gone poorly for this same team in the past, but it feels like they're playing with a level of confidence right now. A lot probably picked up from their performance in that last game. So 3 kills now as they are fighting their way in from the east. They've got plenty of room to work around as well as we check in now with Team Liquid, who have taken over Test Track. They've got Petrichor Road coming in from the south side, and you see Geek sharing Neox Factory with 2 members currently of Virtus Pro, the rest slowly arriving.
Slowly arriving because, of course, Neox Factory. It couldn't have gone North Poro. It couldn't have, because it's got to give us something here at the Neox, and Virtus Pro is going to be stoked about it.
It's like the old Ox Factory, am I right?
I hate it.
I don't know. Yeah, I do too. What's
ここのマジファイトむずいな。
I like the old factory. I like it.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Gen G, they're out in the blue somewhere.
屋上を取らないと勝てないんだよな、初動ファイト。
far south side, so
屋上がマジで大事。屋上から中に吹き抜けがあって、そこから見られるの本当にきつい。屋上に対してのアクセスはめちゃくちゃできるから一応。ネオクスファクトリーもう関係ない。今の話忘れてください。
You still send one up, right? Like you send at least one person to get a little free scouty bouty and come back down, but that's actually best case scenario. Yeah, you got to be about the scout.
Okay.
You get up there for a little scouty bouty. Yeah. No.
I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it. Well, another one's been popped by Petrichor over on the west side. We'll see if they actually take it. As doesn't look like Falcons will skin the scouty bouty up in the air, and instead they'll just let that helicopter breeze on through. Is now T1 and 17 trading shots across the hillside here. Is now Gen G again, still in the blue, still damaged here. D gonna be scouting on foot, and they're going to spot out Petrichor. Does Petrichor have any idea that these guys are there? No, they do not. They are just waiting for their E pickup, and now the spray comes through. One knock comes through. Salute will get one, and now Petrichor Road has to reset here, re-rack. Chewy gonna go down. I-26 gonna go down.
Oh, no.
Salute is eating them alive, and only one will survive for Petrichor Road.
Salute playing like a boss as he jumps in the car and the chase is on. Soul says, oh man, you got all those knocks. I guess I'll go get the flushes. And takes the car over to do a little bit of extra work. They've got a big utility fill they can do right here. Petrichor's on rotation, so they should be able to grab a couple of items. Meanwhile, let's jump over to Geeke, who's entered the bottom floor of VP's territory.
See what VP does. It looks like, not sure who's laid the smoke wall down to slow things down initially. It seems to be working out okay for both parties right now as Geeke trying to figure out exactly where these VP guys are. Songjang looks like he's going to spot out one, gets taken down to about half HP, and now Nixie has that side angle. We'll get him down. Actually, it's going to be Example. So the third party help coming in from Twisted Minds here is now Virtus Pro. They're swarming onto Geeke. More damage down onto Akan. He's going to have to retreat.
Yep, they did see that example knock there, which gives them some good information VP needs and like their location and where the shots are coming from. EJ gets Beanie on the cross. He went for a very long flank round, and it does pay off here as he gets the knock. The question is, can he close the door on the knock?
これで場所バレるな、みんなの。
Lucarux is down on the base floor. They're trying to go around and get Akon out so they can get back.
ゆらゆらやね。
Nade pre-clear. Another. Here's the flash. Follow up nade.
最初食らった。最初食らったけど。
Methodical about it. Now you hear shots coming in. This is actually
いいよ、ファングル。
Gen-G has arrived as well as EJ. The side flank.
うわー、いい。よく外出た。
いや、クレクシー。
マジか。おいおいおいおい。
All they need as he will collect another couple of points for the Polar Bears.
VP was staring at a win condition. Now they're staring at a recovery game as Gen-G comes at full force. And EJ01 is still up. The wrecking ball, the flanker, the pain in the side that has been really detrimental and led to the fall off of VP. EJ flushes his own man because that's just how he rolls.
Ooh, hops in the vehicle to avoid a significant portion of that grenade damage there as EJ just dancing around. It's mutually assured destruction here in the end for Geek and Virtus Pro. Meanwhile, Gen-G did lose D in the process to anyone's legend. So Gen-G was trying to third party this, but they end up paying the price. Iron cost as EJ will push in. He has an idea where Corexy is. Corexy just slowing things down.
マジか。
Corexy gonna go ahead and drink a nice little boost here as he slips forward. It's now become sort of a weird 1v1 as the blue is closed. Everyone else says, all right, you two can finish this. Do what you want to do. Elsewhere on the map, you got Team Liquid softening up 17. You saw that first mortar come in. The follow-up mortars are going to come as well. And now 17 is just hunkered down as they get assaulted by attack. And then even Type is here. He's just sniping them from the distance.
Wembo gonna go down, but now Team Liquid maybe focused a little bit too much on mortaring. They didn't realize that they had the duo of supers behind them. Here's Gen-G now spotting out Petrichor Road. Oh, this is the replay. Got baited once again. Well, Team Liquid down to just Purdy Curdy and Cowboy as it is a straight 2v2 versus the remaining players of supers. And Shrimzy gonna third party Cowboy.
油さんもリプレイにめっちゃ熱い実況してたけど、ただのリプレイだったっていうことがあったからね。
But Thompong helping out a little bit by taking out Human from the distance, and Purdy just trying to get forward to see if maybe he can help get his man back up, but the nade's super close. Curdy right there by Cowboy. If Cowboy can slide back, this is a res.
Just refresh that smoke.
P は特殊部隊ではありません。
It's a third party is just cause a problem. You just can't have a fair fight anywhere, man. It's just impossible.
おお、瀕死の人が残ってるけど瀕死だとは分かってない。巻き切れるか。負けたけど、じゃあ1対1。あお、ジャンピング打ち、スタイリッシュですね。ただこれを起こさない。後ろ向きでドライブしてアンチ内に入るか。
I mean, I think that's the name of the game. It's in the game as in life, right? I tell my son there's no such thing as a fair fight. If you're going to start something, end it quickly. I think teams are taking too long to follow that advice here. They're starting these fights, they're letting them languish a little bit, and they're getting third-partied over and over again. Now back to the 1v1 in the blue, as these two have committed to, like, this is just what we're doing here, is a good quality 1v1.
It's last first day for Corexy, though. Not sure what EJ has left in the bag. He's going to get him at least low. He'll get the point. Geek will collect 4. And EJ can put that feather in his cap before eventually succumbing here. He's going to look for more first aids and find himself lacking. As Falcons, once again, 4 strong, playing that eastern side. E-Arena hasn't left that compound yet. We'll see if Falcons has an idea of where they are. You see Shrimzy with that high ground. Maybe looking over in that direction is... Looks like a few shots sent from E-Arena over in that towards Kickstart.
T1 done got themselves a fort right in the middle. Very nice. They're going to be pretty happy about that as they already in second place. Look at points coming their way. Falcons got a mortar out for a little bit of soften up as they got to try to cross this water. It's not very deep, but the cross is still hard. E-Arena going to be hunkered down on the other side, but honestly, Falcons is in circle. They can play this carefully. This is another decent game for them where I think they come out with a lot of points. That last one, they sort of had to landmine and salvage a little bit. This time, I think they've got a real shot here.
And having the ability to leave Shrimzy across the river, kind of have that little bit of high ground, feed information over to Tig, who's, well, Tigonometry once again But this time it's going to be Perfectix, sending them over towards 17, but they're landing just a little bit shy. We'll see what Twisted decides to do as they have to hop in the vehicles and start making their way into zone.
All right, Twisted going to start to do a little bit of a scamper around as they did see anyone's legend closing on them. Twist is probably going to have to bang into 17 right here. Perfectix opened the door with that mortar. Nice shot. Let's get not the replay now. The crash is about to happen.
Did it again. They keep doing it to us, Toffees. But, I mean, some nasty shooting there from Deal and the drop shot with the shotgun in hand. Yeah, not too shabby there from the Supers. Here we go. Twisted. They led off with that mortar knock and immediately are.
いや、いいグレなんだけどね。よく避けた。逆にツイセットマインズ。グレで牽制ノックして C1 ほぼ全滅。ジェンジーもN1 レジェンド戦ってる。まずここ。
I like the Lou. He was like, okay, you're going to spray this guy down, but I'm running you over, and takes him out. So now we've got Twisted Minds able to hunker down and grab their spot uncontested at the moment. Falcon's pretty flexed out in their position. Opon. No, the mortar! The mortar! Eerie! They're eliminated. Let's jump over to the Falcons real quick and hear what they had to say about that.
The same car. It needs to be used.
いやー、やる前に来たかったな。
I'm coming back to the buy side. Yeah.
It's mid on the south, yeah?
It should be mid on the warehouse compound, yeah.
Guys, let's control the whole line here now on yellow waypoint. Be fucking chilling. This is our game. We should loot their bodies, right? I don't have much.
おー、どんな吊るし合いだって言ってるね。
Look at green while you hold for me. Yeah, we figure out who it is as well. I'm holding green for you.
Okay, there's a set. I don't know where he is.
Is that bus popped, guys? Bus on orange. Hello? Matt?
Gotta tell you, man, their comms are sounding even better.
やっぱ返事がないとね、返事があるまで聞くのは
a little bit more hectic, a little bit more
大事だね。
nervous, but these just sound confident.
わお、マジか。気持ちよさそう。練習して。
They're not more gassed up about these trigonometry strikes. Like it's all normal for them. So they're like, oh, as usual. He's got 3 mortars.
It's not the replay.
これを
No, it's just him doing more tubing. This guy plays with his tube better than anybody I've ever seen. Look at this. Lines up 3, one after another, sends them down range, and I expect all of them to get kills. As they move in towards Twisted Mind's position. First one's a little off. Walks it in with the second. Perfectix says, surely there is! And it's Gustav.
Wow. I mean, that's just great positioning on the part of Falcons, just realizing, like, if you send the mortars in, if they're looking at the sky, they're going to have to move around and leave. So Gustav in a perfect position to really capitalize off of that by getting that knock, and looks like Perfectix is not going to be.
いや、ファルコンズ熱いよ。C1これは燃えないけど、ブルーゾーンもそんなに。中に入れないと。入った！ナイス。
Imagine all these see you're like, you missed the molly. I got a blue zone backpack.
Oh, this could be a problem. This could be a problem.
ファルコン、そしてこれちゃんと
on the south side of this Falcon split.
シムジーのグレが
They're coming in. Shrimzy's got the grenade prepped and ready to go, but it's gonna fall a little bit
やばい、シムジー頑張れ
long actually. And now Myth knows that he's there. They're gonna start.
いや、でもだいぶタンクした
Find the knock on a Shrimzy, and now the rest of the Falcons will have to try to get themselves to rally, but so much.
おー、マジかミスのグレが
What a great job. Falcons tried to defend the top of that hill, but it's not going to be. The push is on. Myth is aggressive. They're coming in fast. 2 knocks down. Gustav jumps in the car, tries to spin and get away, but Scappy moved to a pole position right out of the gate.
おー、マジか
Tiggleton, he tried to make something happen. It can't work. Scappy gets the pivot. Takes it down. Now Gustav just has to run for the hills. From a win potential to a nothing sauce. That's where they end up. No, so over the next fight. Kid still trying to kill that man as he drives away. Meanwhile, T1 goes to battle with Twisted Minds.
わあ、もうミスじゃん
Only one left alive for Twisted. It's going to be Batulins. That grenade going to fall just a little bit shy.
おーい
At least be able to get
ティグルトンさん
Rainy and Type will at least secure those kills. But what a push there from Myth. lot of utility left in the bag
絶望
for
で
them.
す一瞬で
Short work of Falcons, and it
こ
was just a matter of
う
seconds.
まあ
Falcons had that
まあ
big
どうとしか言いようがないの
wide
か
split going on that ridge line.
まさ
Everything
か
was
あん
looking
なに
great
素直に
until
まっすぐに来るとは思
it
ってな
wasn't,
かったっ
and
て
Myth
いう
just taking
感じ
full
かで投げ物を
The secret to fighting
握ったら
Falcons is get
目
under
の前に
mortar
出て
range, and Myth has figured that out. They threw short, trigonometry cannot work within that 60 meters, and it is just going to be dead. Beautiful push. They were so happy with all the things they were doing with mortars and sniping. I think they thought they had a really good position, and it was the perfect spot for Myth to crash them.
Yeah, Myth is
広すぎたね
honestly been
Perfect spot.
いい
looking really good so far here
いい
today.
プッシュだったミスの
So he said, it seems like once they get to the finals, man, they just have this switch that they're able to flip.
マジか1位と2位だよ残ってんの
So scary to fight
Falcons
here.
以外
Baron, I think they're just trying to figure out where Gustav is. Gustav doing his best Bush impersonation, so it's going to be really difficult to
It's a
spot
pretty
him
good
out.
one.
It's not too bad, is it? I think
いや
Myth
リ
needs
ソー
to
さ
be
ん
a
入
little
った
bit
けど
more
ポジ
concerned
ショ
about
ン
T1 is
だいぶいいからね
Heather with that P9.
そのぐらいファルコンズのポジションが強かった
In the late game.
I'd be more concerned if I was the coach about how many of these games Falcons has ended up hiding at
P90
the end of it. So that is definitely a downer. to see the
P90 は
guys
ワ
in
ンチ
that
ャンある
situation
な
with Gustav
近
trying
づ
to
け
recover
れ
these
ばだけ
points.
ど
I mean, there's a world where he's in the circle and he could get a third place for his team or possibly a pickoff on Jacob as he kind of flexes around to the left side here. But if you look at that minimap, you can see Myth is boldly aware of everyone's position. They know Gustav is out there, and they're holding half of this circle and kind of overwatching each other as they do it.
Yeah, that was a game-winning play for Myth for sure. And unfortunately for Falcons, none of the utility that they sent in return was able to find the mark. And Myth capitalized. Here's Kiss with that FAMAS in hand, has angles at range. It's T1
グレをもうちょい
cover
う
that
ま
they have
く
left inside this
使えたらって感じがするよ
Oh my goodness, Myths. Kiss is going to find type, and we'll see if Heather can actually get that res. Rainey going to try to provide some support, but Kiss spots him out.
This is big because not only is T1 in some trouble, Myth is surrounding them, and Gustav might actually pull off a second place because of this, as Myth might just pull forward and take this fight on T1.
They should, and Gustav will just wait and bide his time. Scappy going to get that knock or re-knock onto Heather, as they have just got T1 absolutely pinched into this compound. They might be able to get these reses off, but the situation will have not improved much for T1.
And T1 is that fort was great once upon a time, but as the shift has moved away, it put them in a tough order against a 4-man squad of Made in Thailand. They're going to be pulling Baron forward for the next section. It looks like they're going to be nice, and oh my gosh, that's not even having center circle, that's having all circles.
Just all of it, yeah. I mean, T1's got double P90s, but I don't know if that's even going to help them here. We'll see how much utility they have, how much smoke they have to get through. But I mean, Myth, it's not even all of Myth. It's Scappy and Kiss. The other boys from Myth are looking for Gustav right now.
That's what I'm saying. But the only hope, T1 does have hope here. If Gustav pops out and gets a backstab or knocks one or two, T1 can come out aggressively with those P90s. But that is the only win condition for them, is Gustav does something here.
Oh, type will spot out Jacob. Gets caught slipping. Well, T1 will use their opportunity to move forward in these smokes. A few more grenades left in the bag here for Myth. Scappy will send a couple over. Blue zone grenade to follow as well. T1 at least able to get this ridge line and get those P90s very, very close. They could cause problems as now
マジ
will take down type to start things off. And now Rainey's going to go down. Heather gets knocked low by Gustav. Gustav will finish him off and secure second place for Falcons. Can he get anything more as he's spotted out the rest of Myth? He spotted out Scappy. Long range shots coming through. 1v1 Myth will take the win. Dominant fashion here on Rondo.
What a game. And that was a best case scenario for Gustav, as he not only got the flush, he got the placement point off the back of that, so great salvage for a few extra points there. But really what it came down to is we get Matchroom and Martin, or Avenger as we like to call him, back in here. Avenger, it came down to the top teams were the top teams in that game. Overall 1 and 2 battling it out here at the end.
Yeah, absolute insanity here for them to get in and get this amount of control. I actually expected T1 to get this win and locked it down, but Myth, man, they're just too good, taking too much control and winning every single battles throughout here. Really well played by them.
They pushed, they smashed the Falcons on an incredible push, and then forced the remainder of the team that they wrecked to win the game for them on their behalf. Like that's power matchup. That's the power of MiTH.
Yeah, I mean, Shrimsy was the guy for Falcons that was kind of controlling to the southeast, and we don't usually see him have an issue like that as far as rebuffing the squad and keeping defense up. The timing, as I believe Poro said, the utility just wasn't there for Falcons. It just kind of all went a little bit long or short, and MiTH just kind of rampaged right on top of them and then took control of the game from that point forward. T1 with their smoke push out, like Mark was talking about,
あそこシュリムジーの位置もうちょい人いたらとかいろいろある。ミスがうまかったとしか言いようがないと思う。
Well, also, I feel strongly that MiTH has no, it's going to sound bad, but it's not, long-term vision. So what they do is when they have these good game one, like a game early on in the event, and they get to the top 5 of the leaderboard, I don't even think they're thinking about the final day. I think all they then do is go, oh, we've got a cushion, we can play aggressively, we can do what we want. And they worry about the last day when they get there. And I honestly think that makes them incredibly strong, Poro, because these mid-days, when you're after game 3 or 4 through tomorrow, I expect these sort of like callous pushes that I don't think MiTH would have done that if they weren't already in the top 5, the push on Falcons.
I don't know, man. MiTH, it feels like they've always kind of been that super aggressive team. They just, it feels like they're starting to figure out how to be patient with it here as well. But I mean, they were in a great compound and they had no reason to move, and they just kind of third-partied everything. It was just, it feels like that team, whenever a call is made, there's no second guessing it, right? They are immediately in there, and they are sending everybody. They are fully committed to it, and I mean that's what you saw in the Falcons.
正しくなくても一緒に行くのが大事だよね。こういうの見てると。ミスも多分。ああ、ここ行っても、こう行けみたいな。めっちゃ早かったもんな。今来そうだなっていうのが分からないようにやってる気がする。
Yeah, I like that. They don't get caught up.
あと1試合か今日。
They stick to their guns, and I respect that. Jacob, the IGL, 39 damage and 0 kills, but it didn't matter. He was making the call when he needed to. And Kiss, Scappy in particular, has been stepping up and making moves for this team. So MiTH feeling very, very good right now and looking good. This is a team that won 2 PGSs this year, Martin. They should be looking good.
Yeah, and look at that. Scappy looking good as he's getting the man of the match. 5 kills, 700 damage. And also one of the big winners of that push for Falcons there. A little bit rough for them to lose that on. But MiTH is back to firing in all cylinders. They've had some games where they had to be really smart about their rotations, and also winning all their combat fights there has been great. With 4 games played here, are they going to win the whole thing? They're going to have to keep the steam going on the machine, that's for sure.
Gonna be a tough one to keep rolling, but 20 points definitely helps. Falcons, they don't win this one, but they get 14 points, and that's not too shabby. Twisted Minds, a team that we talked about, Poro, got to step it up. They do. They walk away with 11.
Yeah, no, that was a big game for them. Kind of righting the ship, and even though there's only 1 game remaining, like if they can kind of take the momentum off of that good performance from that last game and turn it into something here in game 5, then all will be forgiven essentially with 10 games still remaining to play, as MiTH will take that top spot. But this is the problem with MiTH though sometimes, is that they will have a blowout burn up of a day, and then they'll follow it up with just an absolute nothing burger. So like
they'll have a blowout burn up of a day followed by a blowout burn up of a day.
Yeah, exactly.
There are 3 days in this final, so maybe you'll be okay.
Yep. That's true. That is very, very true.
That's it. 43 points in the lead, 39 down from there. The problem is there's a kind of a big drop-off between 9 and 10, where it seems like we're starting to see a split out. The good teams and everyone else on the chase, but it is still deeply competitive. Pretty exciting matches so far. We're 4 games in. Even that last one, which was a little bit slower, was still really interesting, great mechanical skill, and some really fun strategy outside of what we normally see from these players. So it has been very, very exciting, and it's going to keep going that way because we have 1 more game to play. I know. Emotionally, I'm exhausted because these games have been so intense. I'm like, surely we're done by now, but we are not. We're going to take a very short break, and when we come back, the final match of the day on the grassy pastures will get underway. But in the meantime, let's check in with Kickstart from the Falcons.
Hello everyone, we have Kickstart with us here. Let's say hello to the audience. Hello. Hello. Yeah, how do you feel right now? Because you got 6 kills in Tego, right? How will you evaluate your performance, your mindset, your form right now?
I feel pretty confident as an individual right now. I feel like I've been getting in pretty good positionings and shooting pretty well. So I feel confident as an individual right now. But obviously it might not look like it, but we just threw a little bit, so still upset kind of as a team.
All right, let's talk about the Mortal play, because you guys have Mortal, like 3 players from EA Arena in this game, and your Mortal has always become the focal point in a game. So I'm just a little bit curious about what's your reaction that if you get like bombed from Mortal, what's your reaction like?
For us, it's pretty upsetting because everyone is actually using their earbuds now at this event to line up their mortars, and it's, in our eyes, like as our team, it is like 100% cheating in my opinion and our entire team's opinion. Tig has just been the best mortar player with how he measures it up. Like he does it in his head and he uses math and like trig. And now every single player in the lobby is like the same skill as Tig now, which is completely unfair because they're just using their earbuds and like lining it like using a measuring tape. So when we die, it is very annoying because we know that like they're not using like their brains. They're just using.
They're not calculating.
They're not calculating. They're not using their brain. They're just cheating. So that's our opinion on it. So when we get mortared, we are very annoyed right now and upset. But if you die to Tig's mortar, just know that you got outbrained and you got outskilled, and we don't use that.
Oh, good point. Thanks for sharing a lot of detail, because we can't never watch this.
Yeah.
If you don't say that. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing a point. See you in games. Bye bye.
See ya. Bye bye.
Hello everyone, welcome to the interview. We have HSMM and Wayne with us here. Let's say hello to the audience. Hello. 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 Last time, because 4M's journey ended in a survival stage, but this time it's a new week PGS9's survival stage. First, we'll talk about PGS8. If you could go back and give your PGS8 self one piece of advice, what would it be?
回到 PGS8 败者组的话，给自己的建议就是，敢打一点吧，然后多交流，然后有什么想法就说。
This week's survival stage, because you're facing the survival stage again, what feels different compared to last time?
因为是这个系列赛的最终阶段的决赛嘛，那肯定大家对今天的前8名的争夺一定会比较激烈，就每一分都是非常拼命的去拿到的一分。
Who's a player outside of 4M that you have a lot of respect for?
就不会就是看到他说是特别尊重或者啥，就是感觉，就是那种朋友或者是那种之类的关系，就比较平等吧，这么说。
What does a successful tournament look like for 4M this time?
一个顺利的赛程，其实对我们而言就是，比如说你赛前复盘的一些，比如说别的战队的一些小套路啊，或者是踩位站位。
Thanks for sharing, and thank you both for joining us. We shall have good luck in today's game. See you in games. Bye bye.
We got next, we ready to flex, we're ready to rock, give it all you got, we got next. Y'all rockin' to the top, can't stop it, must be off your rocker thinking you gon' stop her. We got next.
Welcome back. It's time for the final match of day 1 of a 3-day grand final here from Shanghai, China for PGS 9. One match left to play, so you're not chasing as we move into day 2. The city is beautiful. The matches have been too. My name's TWIS. I'm joined by Porosaurus, Avenger, and Matrum to discuss the action. And as we do so, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to say Kickstart went ham on that interview and just went in on it. So let's do so as well. We know that in the past they have taken rulers away from the players, right? They took the paper away and said you cannot use outside tools. That said, if you can use things at your disposal, is it wrong to say that I can use like the pad of my ears, that I can maybe use my keyboard? I can put my mouse
話題になってるのが、
is that something we can really be mad about here, Martin?
I think so. When you take your headbutt and you go like this against the screen, you say, okay, that's
モーターの打ち方
meters.
で
I'm gonna
距
put it
離
on exactly that. I think that's an outside tool, and I think it's a fair point that when you take rulers or other papers or whatever outside,
距離を測るときに定規を持ってっちゃダメ、外部外部のものを使ってはいけないっていうのはルールでは決まってるんだけど、それだったら、例えばイヤフォンの有線の線を使って距離を測るのは、ずるかどうかっていう。キックスタートが言ってたのは、他のチームはその距離を測るときにそういうのを使うから、それはもうだいぶズルだと思ってますみたいな話だけど、テグルトンはそういうのは使ってないんで、テグルトンに落とされたときは、モーターで落とされたときは、テグルトンに、テグルトンがうまかったし、やれてざまだよと思っといてくださいっていう話してたね。
I mean, usually that's an easy argument is just to say, you know what? Well,
そっか、イヤホンの有線で距離測ってやってるのか。
People used to put marks on the maps, and they were like, no, you can't have the maps on the table anymore.
And I mean, on top of that, like you can just measure your finger, and you can put small dots in your finger and do the same thing, right? But the whole, taking your earbuds up against it, and then measuring it out against the map and the actual dots, like that's really accurate. So yeah, Tig has just been a great player and has been done so historically, and especially after the year where they took away the ability to use these small homemade maps or whatever. The Tig really has been shining as a great mortar player, and that I think is a great argument. So let's see how that develops throughout the last year here. This is again, guys, just personal opinions as us, the fans and passionate viewers of the game, as we're talking about it, as the cast is going on here. So feel free to open up your own discussion, own opinions here. Obviously,
hold on, let me jump in real fast. We do have drops down the bottom. I've seen a lot of people asking about it. Make sure you link your Krafton ID and your stream platform account through Twitch or through Twitch. I think that's the only thing that we have on the English broadcast. It's going to be going. I don't think that YouTube has it connected. Might be, so don't quote me on that one. Play through it, and then as long as you watch just I think it's 30 minutes and 90 minutes, you should be able to stack up a ton. But I mean, as fast as these games are going, you might as well stay for the whole day and just continue to accrue all your nice drops.
俺もドロップ欲しいな。いや、それは実際俺はせこいと思う。まあ、意見としてね、持ってはいいと思う。で、判断するのは向こうのレフリーであり運営の人たちだから。一回禁止されたのが確か自分たちで作ったマップは持ってきちゃダメっていうルールはできたはず。だからその次に持ってきたのが定規とかでも定規もダメ。外部のものだからゲーム以外のもの。じゃあ定規ダメだったら、じゃあ定規以外で測れるもの、じゃあ持ってるもの、例えばまあ別にキーボードの枠でもできるよねっていう、キーボードの枠に集中をして測ってもできるくないっていう話で、でも外部のものではないけどみたいな。そこ。ああ、そう。まあでもそういう感覚かな。真ん中、例えば真ん中に。まあ金かかってるからね。できることをするっていうのが、まあ、どのチームがやってるかわかんないけど。
Couple peeks back around, timing for it. Oh, misses a couple of those shots. So now we're in the maze and everybody is running around. You can see Kirk trying to lean into the defense on the other side.
Oh my god. いやでも2枚やったからこれは倒しきりたい。これタイプはいやでもいい。いやいい、めっちゃいい、めっちゃいい。
Saying crates is ours. We dare you to come forward again, but now we're back in the crate mix match. Nate's coming out. Tight gets a knock on Halo.
動きまくんないとね、こうなるよね。まあ、一つ言えるのはティグルトンの迫力表はもう一級品。その通りです。
That's a great blue zone grenade here, Type. It's gonna have to run for it. It's not gonna get knocked. I think he has a blue zone backpack that he was able to swap to, but really well executed by now. And Raining has an AK in hand and an AUG for Luke here. And as red zones are falling in behind them, other teams are skirting past, and DN Supers are looking if it's real value for them to maybe do a third-party or pull up with this one.
I mean, anybody that's got the maps knows what's going on in the drops. How much do we really want to see Super stop off for? They are going to start keeping an eye on it, see if they can supervise. That's going to be bad for Team Liquid. Yep. The southern area was where they were trying to get defense away from T1, so Koreans coming out, trying to get some damage onto Team Liquid everywhere right now. It's kind of forced Luke to reposition. That was a great holdback that he had on to Raining, but Type looks like it's just going to continue the commitment. This is squad in second place, and remember, there's still 2 more days of play. This is, I feel like, trying to set the pace for the next 2 days of Erangel.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be mayhem here, and for this one, T1 and Team Liquid did hope for a quick finish for this one. But it's becoming mutual destruction, as these two teams actually had really good priority to get into the center of the circle to get some of the high priority compounds. And now they're forced to kind of wait until the other teams make a move. Sure, with the grenades and everything that's being offered here, but everything is just being destroyed from DNS. They're taking tires away, and now T1 is delaying this even further.
The only benefit for it is that Gam the Expendables have moved a bit more north, and I think that Supers keeps kind of glancing at them. Arena's gotten pretty close to Gam the Expendables, who are playing just to the southwest of Everest. So, if anything, it's kind of created a little bit more of a slowdown. Supers can't supervise too much of what's happening over here. That's opened up a bit more of the south in movement. You can see DL's positioning not really the best for this new Team Liquid approach. So, instead, start getting a couple of smokes out, burn some utility. This is a very important firefight for Team Liquid, not just to maintain a decent spot on the leaderboard and chance to climb, but also they don't want to have to be dealing with T1 coming after them and Erangel over and over and over again. So anything that they can fight back here on T1 is big. But if T1 in second place can win this firefight, find these kills early, they don't really even care what happens after this. It's just going to be gravy in the boat for whatever else they find.
Yeah, absolutely. Raining really good off angle here with the AK, Matt. Look at that line that he has. It's completely open. If Team Liquid decides to open up any push here, then Type will be able to jump out and strike at the other angle. Team Liquid hoping for an outside push that's available for them, but this is what's making it really difficult. Look at that. He has a great lineup on the 2 outer crates that Team Liquid is opening to make this push for. Inside smokes here for Team Liquid. They're trying to flush out some of the players that's inside here. Maybe a little bit of a bait to see if someone opens up.
I do like how Team Liquid keeps leaning into the open-ended crates to give them some extra cover in case of the firefight. Also making sure that nobody's hiding out inside of them. Issue is Raining's just on the higher one. They have to have some type of assumption on this, but they're starting to walk Team Liquid into the sight lines of Raining. There's one he's spotted. Feeds that over. Knows the fact that they're playing closer on the side for the crates. He doesn't want to go for the peak until he absolutely has to. But now that Team Liquid's playing a bit further, Raining's going to have the great angle onto the knock onto one. But that's all he could find, and it was right at the edge of the crate. So try to creep around. Halo spots out Type. It means it is Raining, the last one now up for T1. 2 players still up for Liquid, and they know exactly where Raining is. Trying to prep up the nades. Want to make sure that he's not playing over on that side anymore. Reads it perfectly. Tons of damage. Raining has to retreat. New angle that he's trying to set up, and he runs right into one of the open-ended crates.
Goes for it. Now the third party's coming in. Kike is looking at it. Nates are coming in. Blue zones are coming in as well. Raining is going to go down to this one. Surely it's going to do some damage, but the jammer pack is happening quickly, and now he has to commit one more. I can't find Luke 12, and Team Liquid is falling completely. Cowboy also down.
all the Koreans on top of Team Liquid, and it is
Magica.
just who manages to find the end of it. Couple of shots. Alo doesn't go down quiet. 2 players down for
Alo?
DK already. And now just trying to see if they can find anything
Alo?
needs from EJ coming
Wow.
out. Alo wants to get his player back up alive.
Ah.
And now Alpha's coming over here too.
Magica.
Icon takes down Cowboy. What is even happening? This is just a complete mess.
This is the last game of Scrim, surely. Also, Salalsin him has found 17 players too. Luke 12 have gone down here, but Dogma and now APG. This circle has gone south as well, Matrim. Everyone is falling. Everyone is looking for easy points for a third-party opportunity. DK,
ポイント欲しいのは分かるけど、すべての
TM
チーム。
Super's Team Liquid and APG involved in this absolute fiesta.
Oh God, Alo gets another friend.
Oh my.
Gets another knock.
ああ、いやでも十分っちゃ十分だ
But
け
Team
ど。
Liquid found 6
マジか
kills in a
6キル
desperate situation. Respect where it's due, but it feels like Alpha's got all the momentum in this.
ああ、ダメです
J does get the knock on the
そんな
side
に
of
簡単
T.
じゃもう一
Is he
人
just
必要
gonna
で
keep
す
trying
よ
to isolate 1v1s? Powell finally finds him though.
APG to 5 kills now in this game already. Not even inside this zone here, trying to find more. And sure, there's a recall station close, but you gotta be quick about it. Blue zone is pushing. Dogma and Pau is looking for it. They need to get Simon T and Tycon up back into action. And surely the recall station that's on top of the hill here in between South George and Crates are gonna be camped here, Matrim, with Sungjang, DN Supers, and T1 here.
Okay, this is going to be really hard to detangle. Alpha can just kind of cut up to the northeast, kind of wrap back around Everest if they want. T1, GK, Supers, you're all kind of trapped over here, and even Batulin's dancing around. I believe that one of the players for the Supers, yep, and Human was up on top of Everest, trying to get some idea on what was going on down to the south. The circle itself has been quiet. I mean, yeah, centered up. It's kind of just the northwest of Quarry, you know, where the shark fin compound is. VP's got that on lock. But we're 46 already, moving into circle number 3, and it's just opened up so much space in this field circle that it's quiet there.
1キル取りに行っただけで終わり
back behind Petrichor Road. That's about it.
It is. It's been really busy here, and a lot of the center space is fields right now, so it's making it really difficult for some of the teams to
さあ
get
ガト
deeper.
か西ゴッドタワーがある
Pickups coming in here. A lot of teams have
TPP だいぶ強いんじゃないゴッドタワー
Turn to basics.
APP だとあれだけど
Genji on the edge here, trying to fend off Petrichor Road that has set up an E pickup too. And as it's coming in, they're actually going away from it. They're looking for it. And this delay that Genji is looking at the E pickup is giving an opportunity for Petrichor Road to get a car and move away from it. Really smart play as the 2 cars from Petrichor Road is getting off and kind of into an edge and an open compound now for Petrichor Road where they can kind of reset and get new information into the new zone.
Great use on timings. I love the fact that you mentioned that they were kind of using that setup. So Petrichor Road gets in the circle. Genji at least has a path in, but MiTH will be their new opponent that's closest range to them. Have fun with that. Falcons got to fight their way into the circle a bit as it is MiTH's Baron. As somebody else over there with them. MiTH's running a 2-2 split. Genji's going to be to the east side of the southern duo as VP looks like they're taking a couple of shots from E-Arena. Looks like 4 Angry Men going to have a couple of recalls coming in as they've got a couple players to the west. Supers to the north have a lot more control since they've regrouped, and Twisted Mind's going to be holding down Gatka proper. Petrichor Road's also kind of roaming very far up next to Everest, and that could be punishable. This poor old Raining's made it over to Everest as well.
Batulin's glider situation here is really fending off a lot of the Petrichor Road and DN Supers players. Maintaining control of Gatka here is crucial for them, but if this shifts away, they're going to have to cross open field with a lot of teams. And now with Petrichor Road also trying to kind of make space. It'll be a little bit rougher for Petrichor Road to get in here. Now Raining and APG still fighting, having fun outside in the blue, close to South George.
Feels like Alpha's having way more fun than Raining is there you go. Dekmai's going to finally finish it off, and I think that's the end of the Crates shenanigans as Falcons do roll up right onto the southeastern duo for MiTH. They hop in their vehicles and they instantly retreat. So Falcons get themselves a position in the circle. Genji's kind of cut a path more into the hillside.
絡んだチームも不幸
I don't know, observatory in that area.
まあでもアルファを起こせてるのかギリギリ
I don't want to call it a 2-2 split.
まあ行ける場所はあんまないんだけどねおーがっつりいった
Unless you can keep the fence up. Glorious though, does get the knock on a D.
Nice
Here comes
cover.
Bean pushing in, and the reinforcements for the Expendables just roll up the hillside, and Gen G had nowhere to go. Now they're going to figure out if they can get away from all the nades that are about to rain on top of them.
Yeah, Gen G, this is a rough pull up here, especially with all the teams having other angles. Arena also in the off angle. Oh, but Salute does find Wang F. And him going down here is gonna invite other teams for a potential third party with one knock on each side. Information has been shared to the teams within 1 kilometer. Arena VP is really considering the situation right now. DNS also saying
Numaが終わんなった。沼の北誰もいない。
One of my favorite endings, Matchroom, with Observatory Dead Center, where Gen G and GT is fighting right now. Wang F did get back up, and now Gen G
展望台ここを守りきりたいね。これ唯一の高台だ。まあ唯一ではないけど、一番の高いとこだから。
No surprise, I'm with you. I love these observatory circles. You've got those ridges coming out of Gatka.
もう何年ぶりってレベルで見ないけどね。
Control of the north, it's going to be a kind of gam with the supers now getting invested in there. Alpha's also thinking about making an approach. Petrichor Road looks like they're taking the exact same pathing that Gen G took, while Gen G's trying to come out of this point. So Petrichor Road's going to realize, okay, this is not the angle I want to go for. Instantly turns back around, and they're going to try to use the ridge lines for some safety. But there's still anyone's legend, Twisted Minds, that need to get in over here. And supers aren't even content in their position to the north because they spotted out what's going on. Gen G, with nowhere to go, they're now just kind of contained in this valley, and it does not feel good. They know they need to take care of Petrichor Road.
A lot of teams are really spread and split out thinly here. Petrichor Road now on an immense amount of pressure. Utility being committed here. Soul with a good nade. It bounces just wrong. And unfortunate for them. MiTH also rolls up into 4am. Spacemans finds Jacob for flush as well. And MiTH is really falling to pieces here with Baron being the last player. He's rolling in, trying to get a little bit of an edge here. And with that car, if you hide too close to it, a lot of people's going to be looking your direction. Doctors found Dogmai as APG is under a little bit more pressure. They did get the rests off, but rough times for them to get into this circle here from that northern side.
That's why MiTH had to make a run for it. Falcons came in hot and heavy and kind of scared them away, and MiTH had to just run through the gauntlet of it all. EK is roaming down to the southeast. Falcons keep stretching back out of the circle, taking a couple of shots at a con to keep them away. So our big moving factors are still going to be Alpha up to the north, as well as anyone's legend and Twisted. They're trying to just get into the circles. Correxy does spot out EJ. That's going to be a quick pickup from Shrimsy, though. So nice little yoink is there's nowhere to go. So it is going to be time to just send it to Khan, taking the same pathing. Rolls right by Baron, bounces off the cars, runs right into Gen G. This lower section does not feel good, as this is just damage control for everybody that's coming in late, more damage into the circle.
Anyone's Legend そういやー久しぶりに見たなここら辺の戦いそうガトカの人たちは大体ここら辺に行くんだよなただ Twisted Minds の位置がいるのはだいぶ辛い
Great Molotov here from Tig. Does he find a connection? I don't think so. That's a great nade though from Shen. Finds a good knock onto Tiggleton.
Okay, but I mean, there's not much more 4 Angry Men can do about it right now. Falcons don't exactly know that. Another nades might be coming out, and here is Twisted Minds trying to backstab what's going on.
Oh, マジか
Gate kept out by Petrichor Road. The valley approach
ギリギリあれ六角ではないかそっか家かちょっとした上になっただからちょっと戦いになってる小屋か
Twisted Minds finding the kills, but Twisted Minds now has to figure out how they want to run into the circle. The circle's kind of moved more into the valley, into the swamp. Park Pro has managed to find a way to hide out in the compound in the middle of it all.
早めにって言ってもあれだけど
and all everybody else. I mean, we still have
戦いがむずいねファルコンズがギリもうじりじり来るからね絶対に
If they could take the eastern side control, put some pressure onto Petrichor Road, and maybe third party this fight with Twisted Minds, they have a bit of an entry into this circle here, but it's about time that they gotta make moves here as the next circle starts to move in 10 seconds. Xiaowu with an off angle in the fields behind them. He might strike and put Falcons from 3 to 2, and that would be really rough for them. Full Savage game mode for them if that happens. And two landmines next to each other, I-26 and Chewy. Can Twisted Minds find them? Example looking for
いいグレ
NB with a double. And Example comes in and they spring onto Twisted Minds. Perfectic falls too.
Falcons spot this at the distance. They hear it, and are they going to continue to push in? Looks like they don't have too many options, so they might go for the exact same strategy. Petrichor Road, do they have time to reset it? Couple of players still in back behind it all. Batulin's watching it.
What? かっきり入った。で、ノック。ペル残り1枚、残り1枚。
And this is the perfect time to pounce.
What a great game here. Fighting edge in the game where they have almost nothing to play. Almost 5 kills here.
おー、通り、え？お前ターンブーのグレーなんあ、グレーじゃない。ターンブーのキルなんだ。
Absolute nothing here, and we lose 2 teams quickly.
さあ C1 はファルコンズ後ろに行ってたけど先に見つけたのは 4M。さあこの
just having to watch Falcons get what he wanted a moment ago. So many teams are just playing over the east. So these circles have shifted to try to buy some space to get away from whatever's going on in the center. VP
はとんでもないとこに入った。これ大丈夫？
One player already down, instantly retreats down the hillside, just trying to deny out sight lines. Nate starting to roll out. Oh, the air burst pops too early, so VP still alive.
作ります。
2 players left there. That sent cost them half the team. Full salvage mode for them now. They decided to not push the south side off the swamp as E-Arena was holding on with that with an iron grip. Kickstart finds Shen. Great opening for Falcons here in the eastern side. Genji has set up shop on the lower ground. Now 4M has to get off, and Falcons spots this with all the cars. They see it immediately. Lots of damage done here. Shrimps, he finds Salute, and now more flush. Spaceman actually gets the flush with a nade.
Okay, Falcons have to chase the circle yet again. Soul's got eyes onto Beamy and Corexy both, but Genji is just doing damage control down the south. Poor Batulins finally falls to the blue zone. Spaceman still under focus from Falcons and wanting to make sure that they can control as many of these angles as they can. He is going to go down to Opons. So now Nurins for E-Arena has a foothold in the circle. The rest of E-Arena has to regroup down to the south. Falcons have to push in from the east. Gen G is just constantly getting pushed back time and time again over here as it is going to be another assault onto the Expendables in the high ground position.
Yeah, this is rough for DN Supers here. They're hoping to take this ridge easily, but now with Expendables out here, they're defending. Cloris is having
でこのトレードでどうこうも動くかないな。
ファル
コンズも来てそうだな。めちゃくちゃ穴あるな。
Lots of holes to play here for Expendables and a lot of shields that's already being deployed.
Ooh, the throwables are red. Some damage comes out, but again, back to the observatory, back to safety, back to home. If Falcons push over,
落とせた。でかい。
Gets the knock on him. Continuing the rampage now up to second place. Falcons just 1 point back behind Myth and targets galore in front of them. Gen G has opted to go more southern, and they're still keeping an eye on what's going on with poor old Beamy over here. He's got a nade prepped, waiting, listening for the footsteps. The moment Gen G starts to make the move into the circle, it feels like this nade is just waiting for them.
Yeah, that smoke is suspicious. It's not spreading out as usually that is, but it's in the hole and being only 2 stun grenades. You cannot lob a nade in there. So Gen G being here with 3 kills, but they have a ridge to play. Maybe they could get more placement points. E-Arena now activating on the southern side, jumping out of the swamp. Park Pro also left alone inside the center compound. And APG on the northwest waiting to strike for a third-party opportunity.
E-Arena to the south, Alpha to the northwest. Then we've got the Expendables, Supers, Falcons all around Observatory. Gen G still just kind of creeping up this ridge time and time again. Nade still in the hand, and it is just full on. I can't call it trigger discipline whenever you've got a nade. I guess pin discipline is the way to look at it. He is just waiting for the right moment. Falcons clustered together right on the edge of the zone. Feels like they know Supers are there, but it's just a game of chicken between everybody as Falcons still have to just try to find some way to take a couple more steps to get in the zone.
これで2個あるよ。これ危ないね。これ。
Zone here, just a little bit of smoke, so now utilities being deployed. This next
いいグレーじゃない？
Utilities being deployed. A lot of nades are coming in from DN Supers here. Heaven is completely blind, and one more nade here for Deal could do it. Lots of pressure onto Falcons. Kickstart finds
あー手前だった。 た。
It's so hard to cook on this reg line. You have to know exact timings and drop it right into their pocket. Falcons do manage to get it. DL's got a hold, but he doesn't like the angle anymore. He's got to retreat. The new circle is popped. It's abandoned this position. He's just playing for his own life right now as Falcons continue to swarm around this ridge line. They don't want to overpeak. They don't want to give him the double up capabilities, and instead that's going to put him in more vulnerable spots. Gustav goes down. DL does manage to get the peek onto him. Kickstart knows where he's at, but doesn't want to peek around the side because he doesn't know what's going on inside his swamps. He just knows that DL has managed to survive, and it is perfect timing as DL repositions yet again. The Expendables prepped. Looks like they're just trying to cut off any movement, and he times it. Perfect. Gets the knock on the Clories, and he's just stealing points right now.
He doesn't care what it is, what team it is. Deal fights anyone and everyone at the same time here. Trying to get into this circle. Sees APGs pushing onto this little house here. Falcons got the res off. And with this three-man push here, they could make something happen. Maybe we can have a quick listen into Falcons comms and see their approach in this circle.
If anybody has any nades, I have no nades.
No nades, no nades.
Okay. He's on balcony. My molly might have.
It looks good. Strimzy is dead.
He's dead.
Strimzy has a smirk
Oh,
and a flash.
there
You
it is.
guys need to use the smirk on yellow. And T's gonna try peek into you. Can one of you play late with Jammer?
One knock. We should just smoke it, fucking run it down.
Two standing.
I have a link side.
Oh, no,
Go. I'm gonna smoke out door, okay?
Not
Smoke out door.
ground,
It doesn't even matter, guys. Just look right. You can just walk. It is so free.
いや、どうだろうね。フリーかどう
That's a
かは。
great opportunity for them here, Matt, as they have a northern push here towards the zone and a really
ど
good
っち
ridge
だ
to play. And Gen.G
今
actually
2
managed to
個
get a little bit of inside the zone as VP did get destroyed, but E-Arena
いや、右でプレイ
springing
するね。
out from the
ああ、いい
swamp
ね。
has a lot of space to control here as
でもギリギ
APG
リ
is maintaining control in the west. Gen.G is out in 6th place. They get 2 placement points for their efforts.
GT が先に出るか、エクスペンドーズが先に出るか、ファルコンズが先に出るか。
Oh, he is waiting.
有利ではある。ああ、いいアリーナに挟まれてる。いいノック。
Puts in a little bit of work, and Gustav's gonna join him. So the Expendables, who's been making life absolutely miserable for everybody over here, suddenly has a convergence. Falcons to the north, E-Arena down to the south. Really, it's just Alpha having to deal with Park Pro for the time being, but there's a lot of clusters. Falcons now in first place. DK and the Expendables right on top of each other as far as the leaderboard goes. So really, just the survival coming up from Park Pro could be absolutely massive. He's finding a ton of work over here. Gets another point.
でも1枚は取ったね。アルファ起こせて。
There is nowhere for them to go. Blue zone on top of them. And now we are just instantly popping into our top 3 Falcons.
ファルコンズは1位にはなった、一応。アルファ3人、Eアリーナ南側で4人。
Yeah, and this ends just in the middle, but APG did not need to move. E-Arena needs to move. And finds something onto Falcons and straight it quickly back as Spatampong finds a knock onto Kickstart, and Gustav returns the favor. He got a little bit too deep here. With this push here, they might be able to get into this circle.
キックスタートの多分手上げたモーションで場所がだいぶバレた。もう投げ物がない。アルファがどのチームを先に打つか。角度的には E アリーナを先に打つそうだけど。でもマジでアルファ次第。屋上取ったらアルファだいぶ有利。
Alpha's going to have the compound to play, and that's one of the reasons why E-Arena is being a bit slow. Their approach with their ridgeline isn't as good as Falcons, so Falcons still has a section of this that they can play with some level of safety, some high ground, and some vision. E-Arena has to decide, do they want to make the push Falcon side, or do they want to push in the lower ground, where Alpha is already going to be waiting?
これ高台でプッシュしたらアルファからの介入なしでファルコンズ戦えるけど、めっちゃ不利な戦いになるから。
With all the fights they've had throughout the game, and now to kind of hunker down a little bit to lock this one down.
いやギリ入ってるのかな。
4 more kills to be had on E-Arena and
ギリ入ってそうではあ
They
る
can have
か。
a banger game here, pushing them all the way up into the top 5. Shots come in there. That off angle is really rough for Shrimpsy. Finds him.
キル入るな、この角度。入らないか？ギリ大丈夫。ただ、ファルコンズの方に突っ込んだね。ワンノックしたから。
Be back behind all of this down, and he's going to get flushed out. Kickstart tries to hold the line, but E-Arena just runs up into his face. Gustav watching it from above, he's going to go down. Falcons are eliminated.
綺麗に落とせたね。オーポンズが張り付けてはないけど近いよ。
How many more points they can find, and it feels like Alpha has been rampaging, but E-Arena has a little bit of this high ground, and Opons has moved down into the water.
This is an extremely difficult push to get 3 guys off from the high ground here towards APG. Sure, It's a 3v4 if they get this res off. 11 kills for APG already. And also 6 kills for Arena. This could be the push towards the top 6 for them. If they make this happen here. Opons is really the playmaker from this position here.
Opons. Yeah, 届いてない。
Didn't hit on the right side of the road. Oh, can he connect? Actually hits a little bit here.
いやいや、足りない足りない。
Simon T.
It's all about controlling angles. Rooftop for Alpha versus
でも下れてんだよね。下れてる。あ、さすがに1枚取られる。ナイスでしょ。ワンノックで済んだよ。ワンノックで済んだ。
But that puts us back into a 3v3. Lyrics could be rezzed as well. There's a bit of cover over here. I don't know how much utility we're really going to be looking at coming up from APG, but Alpha, they've had control over this position for so long. Really only having to deal with Park Pro that was playing E-Arena, just trying to bully their way in, stacked on top. Not a lot of pockets for Alpha. Great shots coming from this. Path upon and Opons. They find it. Control. E-Arena take it in the end.
And what a game for them to start on the
わあ、ちょっとファルコンズなんかもったいない試合が2連続あったな。 GG いや、もったいなかったけど1位なんだよね、一応。伸びしろはある。ヤリーナでかあれ1枚だけ、ワンノックだけで終わったの、下るとき。
Trying to defend with an MP5 and iron sights, like they just there was nothing left. They had to make a play in E-Arena.
確かに起こせたからアルファって物資が本当になかったのか。起きた人たちがいるからね、2人いるからね、アルファは。
Kind of an unforgettable day for them. I mean, they started this game in 16th place, so a big come up for them in what was an incredibly chaotic game. What was going on in crates, Matt?
I have no idea. It's crazy that Alpha was over there involved in all of the, I guess, Korean/Team Liquid drama. Like, I don't know what Team Liquid did to the Koreans, but it felt like, what, 3 teams were involved with them? We had DK Supers. I mean, it was T1.
関わったチーム全員不幸になったけどね。
I guess South Georgia is just the place to be, and everybody wants it. Sure, I guess.
Weirder things have never been said, but it did seem. Oh, dude, bowling with Doritos is a new sport I didn't know existed. I love that.
Indiana Jones, that man.
Oh, that was good. Run from the boulder. I remember that. I remember that show at Universal Studios. All right, nice spray here for the Falcons. They had to hustle, Martin. I was blown away at how much these guys had to put points on the board and grind after fight after fight after fight. I'm a little worried though, because as Poro pointed out in the green room, finishing in first in groups tends to mean you don't win PGS.
This was a masterclass.
First on the first day, yeah.
True.
First day, yeah.
This is a masterclass of execution of third party and repositioning. They were chasing circle, but they realized that their plan and their path to victory or potential victory was to just fight and third party all the way through. The way they managed to win almost all of them, except for the one in the end versus the Arena, was just perfectly executed. What a way to do it. Both on Twisted Minds, Petrico Road, that third party was absolutely amazing, but E-Arena, in the end, took it home.
E-Arena with Pathompong popping off with those 5 kills, 5 knocks, doing a great job. The White Rabbit is back. And like you said, Poro, they were in last place, 16th with 7 points. And look at me now. And I think that speaks volumes. At the start of today, we were like, hey, it's still open. If you can have one big game today, you can climb out of the doldrums. And they did that, and they did it in style.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you were trying to get me to pin down a team that I thought would be in the bottom 4, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, every single one of these teams is capable of doing one of these games, and here you go. You see Arena managed to pull it off here at Patapon with that 5-kill man of the match performance. Fantastic work from him. But yeah, going back to the Falcons, sometimes it feels like it really is just that simple. They were just winning fights today. Like, they looked so much better in their fights today than I've seen them look in a while.
Well, you know, it was fascinating. During the interview with Kickstart, if you get past the earbuds mortar situation, he did talk about, he said twice, I feel confident as an individual. Twice, one after another, which I thought was a little bit weird. But maybe if he's saying that, it's a mentality of the whole team of like, if all of us just feel confident in what you do, because that's what it looked like. It looked like they were taking confident peaks, they were taking confident fights, and they were willing to go for the gusto. At the same token, so was Alpha. Alpha had 11 kills on that game and was more than willing to put points on the board, Martin. So this was 3 top teams putting in top tier play.
If you ask Falcons before this game when they're chasing, was this a success or not? They would have loved those 15 points because it's illegal for them to win 5 engagements. And that put them on the #1 spot for the total leaderboard of today here. Being in the lead after day 148, 5 points down to second, 8 down to third. That's a good lead going into the next 2 days here.
That is wicked tight, but it's not over for the teams on the bottom yet. Should I be worried as I look at that second half of the leaderboard matchup? I mean, we got Twisted Minds, Liquid, 4AM kind of hovering.
4AM.
I mean, there's a couple of squads that can kind of climb, but on the other side of it, like whenever we're looking at what, Supers are down here, Twisted Minds, Team Liquid, you can't really get too mad at them. They're still finding points where they're getting crashed by 5,000 teams. But even what?
4M はマジでめちゃくちゃ削られてる毎回。
So there is still climb potential. It's just you have to kind of have these guys at the top falter a bit, and it just doesn't seem like that's been the case today.
Yeah, I mean, I think okay. So just to correct, because I think we just saw that leaderboard, it might have got a little bit mixed up. Is they were in 16th, they're now in 11th. So that also speaks to you can have a banger of a game and still not be in the top 10. Because we started to move along that far. Now tomorrow we switch it up. We start on Tego, we end on Tego, which I assume means that the final game of the championship will be played on Erangel on day 3. We'll see when we get there. But it does shift the story a little bit, Poro. It seems like these Tego days have been a bit of a shakeup for our players.
Yeah, it does feel that way, doesn't it? I mean, it's a tough map to play, and it's one of those maps that requires you to have a lot of good IGLing. But let's start with the interview with Shrimpy.
We will have Shrimpy with us here. Congratulations on taking the lead on Grand Final first day. How do you feel like? It must be so familiar for you guys to taking the lead.
It feels really good. It's been a while since we've won, so you know it feels really good starting out really strong. Usually we don't start super strong, so it's just nice to be in the lead.
Actually, you guys play a lot of good games in today. So which game do you think that helps you most to build your motivation, build your momentum?
I think the last game that we played was really, really good for our momentum. It was kind of a hard zone for us, and we were able to scrap out a bunch of kills, and we played pretty well together. So I think that's a big momentum game for us.
Yeah, and that game is like secured, helps you secure the first place in the game. And we all know that you're in a new roster, new IGL system right now. How do you feel like it's for you guys? Do you think it's reached a new high level because you're won the first place today?
I wouldn't say we can get to a new level, but I think that we have like a ceiling, and we haven't gotten to the ceiling yet. We haven't shown it, and I think Gustav has been very consistent. So it's really nice to be with him and to hang out with him, and he's just a great presence outside the game as well.
All right, but we like looking for the guys to reaching a new high level. That's why I said about the American team, because it's been like 726 days since the American team last lifted the trophy. Do you believe this time you can bring the trophy back to home?
I believe it every time we play, but I think that we're feeling pretty good now, and we just need to clean some things up, and we'll come out victorious.
All right, keep that momentum, and let's wait and see what Falcons can do. That's all for the post-match interview. Let's see you in the tomorrow's game. Bye-bye.
I don't care for the stat line that someone handed Yingxi.
Boy, they love
about,
that, don't
they?
They love that number.
日本はいないです。
They're not wrong. There's
日本いないで
3
す。
Americas teams here, or 3 Americas guys, and so that did hurt us a little bit, Martin. But they're not wrong. If Americas hasn't lifted a trophy, we deserve to be called out for it. We should be better than this. We're an entire region, and we haven't won one in 2 years.
Well, maybe we should have 8 teams in there then.
You know that Denmark is about 6.1 million people, and we lifted a trophy just, last month in Paris.
Yes. Well, okay, yeah, that's fair. But also,
just claiming the entirety of VP now. I see.
There's long periods of darkness, okay? So there's tons of time to practice. That's all I'm going to say about that. But you're right. I think that is absolutely a good challenge. I think the Americas region in general, and to what you said, Poro, I'm
いや、あと10試合あると思うとちょっと分かんないな。
What would we do with
予想がつかない。
honestly, right? Like we had a third.
でちょっと後半トップ8のチームはポイントをがっつり取れてるイメージだから。
What a great
まあ
day
取れ
of
てない
play.
チームが盛り返したらわかん
That
な
means
い
we have 10 more to
マジ
go,
でわ
and we
かんない
are going to crown a champion at the end of that. PGS points are on the line, $300,000
印象良
in
き
cash,
チー
and
ム
I
は
think today was a
割
good
と
start. So before we
もう
sign
分か
out,
りや
you
すかっ
guys
たと
get a
思
little
う
rest before we
ファ
go
ル
to
コンズはで
tomorrow.
も
I
もう
want
ちょっ
to
と
do
ポイント
final
取れた
thoughts,
ような
get
気
you
が
guys'
するんだ
take
よ
on the
な
day because it was a fascinating day of PUBG. If you guys just
でも
joined us, go back and watch.
とりあえ
Especially
ず
those
1位
first
だ
three
からね
games. They were absolutely wild. Definitely worth putting
と
some
いうことで
eyes
今
on.
日
So
のグランドファイナル
final thoughts on the
1日
day.
目
Let's go
終
with
了
Poro.
です
Awesome
な
day
ん
for
で、
Falcons,
明
obviously.
日は
I
Day2
think they looked a
2
lot
日目
better. They looked a lot more
定
comfortable
後
in their
始まりの
team
定
fight.
後終わりの
Every
2日
time
目
we
一緒に見
listened
ていき
into
ま
their
しょう
comms, they sounded great.
それではこの配
Definitely
信は
real
ハイライト
goals
終了後
better
に
than we've heard them before in the
終
past.
了
So
します
we'll see if they can keep it up. But one of
明
the
日
hardest things to
一緒に
do
見ま
is
しょう
play from first place in a lobby
天の
this
声
stacked.
河原
So
ジョンマイケ
still
ルでし
10
たあり
games
がとうござい
remaining.
ましたお疲れ様です
Thank you. Also, thank you for wearing that shirt. It may be my favorite to date.
You're welcome.
I love Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm going to assume it's a reference to Princess Donut. And if it's not, it is now. All right, Match'em, final thoughts.
Oh, God. Made in Thailand, welcome back. We were missing you. T1, where have you been? Why are you suddenly good again? And please stop doing crates shenanigans because they were running this table beforehand. And then I guess they just kind of decided that they wanted something to with South George. It all kind of came apart. So we'll have to see how that kind of moves out and moves forward from this. But I mean, you got to give it. T1 Gen G are just on a come up. And I hope they can keep consistent because we often see Korea falter day 2.
Love using shenanigans. I hope that they step in because Korea has been dominant. We'll see if day 2 is good for them. Martin, final thoughts?
Yeah, I love the creative action from the beginning of the day, and I think that's more of a coherent decision for a lot of teams. When you see a team that's currently second place, seeing, okay, that's a third-party opportunity, we gotta stop these teams running away with it from the get-go. And if you do that in day 1, that means that nobody is across that 50-point mark. Everyone hates it when a team like MiTH has like 65 or 70 points after day 1, right? So everything is still on the line. The foundation has been built today here, and for the teams that are 30-point plus, they can still take it all and may potentially get into first place going into tomorrow and the last day. So that's going to be cool to see. 10 more games. I'm excited.
10 more games. The Crawlers are in the fight. They're going to do what they can. I will say this, that I think that you're right. I think this change in meta is favoring aggression and battle early. And honestly, I think the threat of the LMG meta where car rotations are nigh impossible, looming over the horizon, is forcing teams to start exploring this idea of we take fights as they come. We're not going to be able to do these sort of sends to middle anymore. So let's just embrace the changes now and get active. The activity was big. The fights were huge, and I guarantee they're going to be even bigger tomorrow. There's a ton of teams stacked up at the top and a little bit of space for those on the bottom to catch back up. So be here at the same time, at the same place for even more actions and giveaways on chat. We're giving stuff away, so you want to be here, you want to be collecting. Guys, thank you so much for spending your evening or whatever it is with us. On behalf of myself, Match'em, Avenger, Porosaurus, the entire production team, everyone at Crafton, and the players themselves, thank you so much for hanging out. Until we see you tomorrow, play more PUBG.